this movie's mid. This movie's the worst comic book movie ever. People don't know how to have fun anymore. You should just have fun. There.
Are you reading Twitter?
Every review.
We did it. We're done.
We're done. We're done.
Hope you guys enjoyed the live stream.
What more do you need to say? This movie is unnecessarily hated. Oh, no. This writer should be fired from all writing ever. Anyway, guys, we're talking about Supergirl. Spoiler talk today. Possible concerns about the future of the DCU. Maybe. I really just want to have like a really nuanced discussion. I think it's really easy to go on the internet, and it's very easy to either just... if there's something Coy and I talk a lot about, is that there's such a lack of nuance when it comes to opinions on the internet now. It's like you either got to go full rage or you go super positive. And I feel like it's just so much more layered than that. Even with a movie like this, where both you and I are just kind of like mid about it, we're both still like, I think there's a lot of more interesting discussion to be had about what this movie is, certain scenes, what it can mean for the future, where we think DC could probably take a lesson from in a positive direction. You know, like not everything needs to be a 100%. So I just want to kind of like have a discussion like that. And for you guys who are here, please leave a like. If you're watching on the playback, please leave a like. We take super chats and Streamlabs. It's very much appreciated. We'll go over those after. We'll go through all of them in one big chunk after we're done with our main discussion. So thank you for being here. Coy, I know you're really looking forward to this one.
I'm thrilled to be here, Greg. I'm looking forward to my weekend being ruined all week.
My man. Do you want to give like a brief, just non-spoil? I mean, you can be spoiler as much as you want. Do you want to give like a brief rundown of what you thought about this movie?
Yeah, I thought it was the 4-quadrant blockbuster take on an epic, and that is some of its pros and cons. I thought Milly Alcock was incredible as Supergirl, and that's been what I've been talking about a lot because I think that affects the DCU more than just the one film. Mm-hmm. You cast for a universe at this point in this type of franchise, right? You're not casting for a movie anymore with things like this. You're casting for 10 years. You're casting for movies. So I've been really looking at like what that means for the universe, and Milly Alcock was such a strength that to me was a really positive anchor. But the movie itself is based off one of my favorite modern comics of all time. Like the bar is so high on what Woman of Tomorrow is that I don't think a movie in 90 plus minutes could reach that. And that was definitely something that I was aware of a few minutes in. And this is the first review I've ever given where I said like, hey, I think read the comic after. Like in the history of me doing this, I've never said, wait. And I think that's because it's going to feel more like an extended cut if you read the comic after versus where is that scene every few minutes if you watch the movie after reading the comic. So I do think the comic is a better experience, but I think the movie has merit that really can't be enjoyed in this climate. And that's been my struggle is I didn't think this was the greatest thing ever. I didn't think it was the worst thing ever, but it's a comic book movie, so one must. You can't think a movie is okay in 2026. You can only TikTok and like have hyperbole. So even my reviews, both of them are positive and negative. Both of my reviews lean Milly Alcock's great. I'm really excited for girls to have a hero that actually has depth and nuance as a woman. I'm way more concerned with the women of tomorrow than them adapting Woman of Tomorrow. And so my focus is I've got the comic. If I want the comic, I want little girls to have a hero. And then the stupidest people were all like, there are female heroes. It was the fucking 21st Marvel movie till we got a female-led superhero film. 21 fucking movies in. I'm proud of DC for doing it their second movie, but of course it's going to have this kind of response. So I was speaking to those people. I'm also speaking to people that are going to see a girl that actually has something to say and actually has an experience and actually has trauma and actually has an eye line of connectivity while still being super. I'm sorry I never related to a goddess from Paradise Island. I think she's awesome. I love that character. I think even that's a better movie. But I don't relate to Wonder Woman. I don't think if I have a daughter, she will at first. She'll be like, cool, a hero. Like she'll play Wonder Woman. But I think Supergirl is more relatable. And I really just like, I barely touched the internet this week, but it's so loud that I'm just pre-exhausted for women and girls getting movies that are okay when I want better for them. And so I feel automatically defensive of like, I want to have all of these things to praise. And so those are coming out louder, even though the movie I thought was okay.
Yeah. See, that's so interesting to me when you watch and experience something. I feel like you become so hyper aware of particularly the internet sociological effect that occurs. And I don't get as immediately in tune with that, or I don't really seek that out directly. Actually, that's not true. I guess I'm not as affected by it at first.
I'm so disappointed in humanity every day, dude.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's what I mean. Like,
you have that.
I keep wanting to have faith, and I keep being fucked.
And I don't really deal with that as often, and I didn't have that this week, truthfully. Because I know that's where you often fall into, and then with my experience with this film, this is what I basically said in my non-spoiler, and I did say this, is that I was really into it in the first like 25, 30 minutes because I heard a lot of negativity, and I was like, I don't know, man, I'm actually kind of enjoying this. And then I found myself getting bored, and I wasn't even sure when I was getting bored. I wasn't even sure why I was getting bored. I was like just starting to check out. And I was sort of just up and down between I'm bored to, oh, that's kind of interesting, to, okay, I'm back to kind of neutral and feeling nothing. Oh, that's kind of interesting. And then there's stuff in the finale that I want to like hop into really quick.
Sure.
That definitely was the stuff that actually, there's an ending choice in particular where I had to call a coy and be like, am I crazy? Because everyone's like not upset about this at my screening, but I'm like really upset about this. And it was funny because Aaron saw it Aaron read the comic this week, and then the one thing he talked to me about after watching it was the ending. He was like, dude, that fucking ending. I'm like, thank you, because everyone made me feel insane for not having an issue with this ending. But I decided to I reread the comic after. I had so much distance from the comic that I was able to easily not think about it. And then I decided what the hell? Let me just dive into all the reviews, as many reviews as I could find on the internet, on YouTube, particularly the biggest ones, the most viewed ones, all the way from the most negative to positive. And what surprised me about the experience of that is so much of the time when you were just scrolling, it would stand to reason that most people just seem like they hate the shit out of this movie. And then when I'm watching all these reviews, I find that there's a much bigger variety of opinions than I expected.
Yeah.
Yes, are there those that automatically just are so hatred and feel like it's worse than the Marvels and fucking Madam Web? Yeah, those exist. But there's also a lot of people who are positive, and there's a lot of people who are just, it's mid. It's fine. It was much more varied than I anticipated it to be, and I definitely fall into the camp of it's more of the mid experience. And part of the fascinating thing that I would find with people who didn't read the comic is they were often criticizing choices that were actually in the comic that the movie does do. For example, some people just have an issue with the plot of the shooting the dog, shooting Krypto, and that feeling like a cliche that's been done to death now in cinema. The ridiculousness of Supergirl being towards the end being on a planet that has a green and yellow sun, and it's really easy. Cause I did not think this, but I would see some of the comments be like, "But that's what they do in the comic." Yes, but they strip out a lot of stuff that explains why you would put Supergirl in the end on a green and yellow planet.
Also, the comic has the dog okay, and that's a reveal.
Exactly.
There are moments that
it takes place over weeks, not 3 days.
But also, she's not worried about the dog. She's doing it for Ruthye. And that is not a factor in the film.
No. So we're going to be zigzagging a little bit. I want to discuss the ending because I was initially pissed off about the ending. I still don't really like it. Then I thought maybe it is going to be an effect for something that could happen in Man of Tomorrow.
Okay.
Specifically what I called you about. So here's what I talked to 3 people at my screening about this. None of them were on board with what I was saying. And that's how I thought I was
should have read the comic after.
Thought I was fucking nuts. And then one of them did read the comics. I was like, really? You don't think this either?
Even Variety and THR reported on the ending and misquoted the comic.
Oh, did
like
they?
people just are like, that's why when you Googled it, it's wrong on Google because like stupidity.
What do people think that
People think that Krem's killed by Ruthye.
Yeah,
He's not.
But to be fair, there was a misunderstanding though. When I first read the comic, I did too.
Yeah.
It's very little where you can see. So at the end of the,
He gets
can
booped.
Do you want me to explain the end, or do you want to explain the end?
I explained the end. So basically, we have
The comic version.
The comic version. Spoilers for a comic. That you should read. The end of the comic is after all this vengeance, after all of this, Supergirl trying to explain to Ruthye that this won't make her whole. Like, that's a more traditional story. They jettison Krem to the Phantom Zone, and he's basically trapped for decades, and that
Hundreds of years.
Yeah, he basically learns remorse, and he comes out changed. Like, there is actual reform that occurs, and there's kind of a, will Ruthye still kill him because she still feels this animosity because she's aged. In the comic book, it's narrated by an elder Ruthye while young Ruthye is on this journey, and it gives you this unreliable narrator element. And Ruthye then has the opportunity to kill Krem and almost does, but then like boops him, and you realize that Ruthye has finally learned the lesson that she has been slowly learning throughout the comic. So it's a final moment of like, even up until the end, you don't know if the lesson was learnt, and then it was.
Yeah, there's ways to interpret it that even if you don't, like, it's really subtle because you see Krem, he's silhouetted, but he does put his hand on his head in one of the next frames where you're like, oh, he's touching his head because he got injured. But when I first read it, I actually didn't notice that. And a lot of people don't. So a lot of people think that Krem's actually, like, Ruthye kills him at the end. It's like, what just happened at the end? But no, at the very end of it, he is holding his head. So it's like, yes, she was able to make the choice to not kill him and live that path, but that doesn't necessarily mean she has to completely forgive him either.
Right.
Again, it's like a really layered ending, and so much of it. And Supergirl states it in the book where she's trying to tell Ruthye that, like, you know, because Supergirl in the comic book is a bit like, this is where I feel like the movie kind of missed some characterization with Supergirl. Because I was talking with people who didn't read the comic book, and I was like, why did I still connect? I'm like, oh, maybe because of my comic experience, I actually filled in a little bit more blanks than other people. So a big distinguishing difference is I feel like Supergirl is very much kind of like a Hancock, like Will Smith's Hancock, like a drunkard, and that seems kind of like detached and hollow, and like sad, like just really sad.
Yeah.
But it's still a hero, still does heroic shit. And in this Supergirl, I never really got the sense that this Supergirl has been Supergirling at all.
Right.
And so that's why I think a lot of people who didn't read it just feel like she's kind of coming across like a bitch or something like that, when she has all these powers and everything. And yet she just seems like a. And in the comic, I feel like she's an act. Even though she's 21 in the comic, I feel like she's actually an adult, and Ruthie's a kid. I felt like she's still sort of a teenager in this movie. So we don't get that enjoyment. Like Wolverine still does heroic shit despite being like an angry guy and a drunkard and doesn't really like people. He's still heroic. Hancock, same thing. Like we like that kind of trope, but we didn't get the sense that Supergirl is doing Supergirl shit on Earth, really. It just seems like she's escaping. But to a larger point, we can circle back to that. At the end of this movie, she kills Krem. When that happened, I was actually upset at the movie. I texted Coy. I said, that's my General Zod moment. Like when I saw Man of Steel, that didn't even cross my mind when I saw Man of Steel.
Yeah. And that's bothered most comic fans for years.
I was in the theater watching Man of Steel, and the snap happens to Zod's neck, and I was so in the moment, and I'm like, yeah, I get why he killed him there. Like I bought the moment so well of why he would actually kill him in that moment that I didn't even think about it till the internet was mad about it.
Yeah.
That's a thing in Superman's not supposed to kill anybody. That's right. And the comic of Woman of Tomorrow, and this is such a strange case because a lot of these comic book movies don't adapt a specific graphic novel.
Yeah.
Even like Captain America: Civil War is not really an adaptation. Like Woman of Tomorrow is more of a direct adaptation than a lot of these comic book movies. So when she kills him, it just felt like it's not Supergirl to me. That moment didn't register to me as like, why would she kill him in this moment? I feel like what the movie's trying to do is, I'll take the burden of killing him so Ruthie doesn't have to do it.
Which is some of the implication in the comic, but then that storyline evolves out of that era.
Yeah.
Like there's a moment, I think, like issue 4 where you feel like that's what's going to happen.
But I feel like even without the comic, it still muddies the message
Oh,
of what,
I'm not
of
disagreeing.
What,
It bothered
of,
me
what she's,
too.
of what she's saying to him. And,
Yeah.
you brought up a point to me, which is like that actually could have worked. And I'll go back to why I think it could work for Man of Tomorrow. You were bringing up to me why you felt like it could have worked stronger. And again, a lot of people really like that. A lot of people I talk to love that choice. And they're like, no, Supergirl would do that. I'm like, not according to the Supergirl I know.
Yeah.
She's pretty adamant in the comic book about like not doing that. In this movie, she keeps telling Ruthie not to do it. And I feel like she didn't even have to do it in that moment. But you were saying that you felt like the movie could have done more to earn that moment.
I feel like they tried to do that with changing the backstory for the Barbans Brigands, where making them like horrendous sex traffickers and making them a different kind of evil, a more personal evil. I feel like there was a lot more vitriol versus, the comic is genocidal and galaxy spanning and all these things. And I think that there is something to the way we personify evil differently. Like when you kill 1 million people, you're a statistic, but when you kill 5 people, it's personal. So I feel like with Krem in the comic, there's this scope to his evil, and I love the dichotomy of him being like a romance lead cover, like him looking like a Lothario, like this like dashing swashbuckler, and I think that's the juxtaposition. I think the goal they had here was to make him more evil in a way that is personal, and Ruthie is lost without a family, and Kara's lost without a family, and Krypto is her only home, and he tried to take her last bit of home. And I think that's why Krypto personified Krypton a bit more in this than in the comic, because we knew after a time that Krypto was fine, but all the grief she felt.
That's a really good point. That's a good credit to give to the movie.
Yeah, I think they really made Krypton in a different way. And I think that allowed me to kind of breathe through the fact that it was a 3-day ticking clock. Because that's something I was like, what? But Krypto personifying Krypton allowed her to really have her grief felt in a different way. She never feels her grief because she's always numbing it with the different suns and with drinking and all these things. She's feeling grief for the first time with Krypto. And I think that is something that they did touch on with killing Krem, is she tried to take away the only thing that she had left. And she tried to do the worst thing to these individuals. And his whole culture was doing the worst thing to these individuals. And that feels a lot more personal than a global galaxy spanning murder spree, because that's just numbers. So I think that's why some of those changes were made. I don't know that it landed, but I think that was the intent. I think it's case by case.
I feel like that is the intention with it. And what I'm feeling is that the way I think they can make it work is kind of what I thought people might think they were going to do actually with Man of Steel.
Evolve him into the hero we know.
If in them like actually feel affected by having to take a life, and I'm hoping that with the amount of emphasis that the Supergirl movie has on why not to kill and what that'll do to someone, I'm really hoping that when we carry on with Supergirl, that is something that she carries with her. Because if the whole movie she's like, if you kill, this shit will haunt you.
Yeah.
If it's not haunting her, then I'm really gonna have like extra problems with it. When I'm like, well, then why'd you do this ending then?
I also think it was to distinguish Superman from Supergirl even further, and I hope that continues.
Yeah,
like the haunting being a factor of that, but also I feel like so many people have a problem with it, and I guess I'm less connected to Jor-El than apparently these giant Jor-El stands. But making
there with you. I'm like, there's some huge Jor-El.
Yeah, like sometimes I'm just like I'm on.
Although
different...
that line was fucking hilarious on Krypton. Do you remember that? I saw it weeks ago.
Yeah.
When I just thought it was like I felt like it was a line that they threw in there just to take a jab at the audience.
What was it?
When Zor-El's the dad, and then. You see when they're on Krypton destroying, and then they see Kal-El's ship take off. They're like, "That's Kal-El's son, who they're sending to conquer planets." I was like, "It's not particularly good writing, but I find it kind of funny."
It definitely felt like fourth wall break, like hello subtlety. But I think the reason behind that change of Jor-El is to have Clark identify with his human side more than his Kryptonian side.
Yeah.
We very, very, very much focused on the Kryptonian alien, otherworldly entity in Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman. They stressed he is an alien. He's not like us. He's removed. And now I've always seen Clark as very human. I see him as like the ultimate in embodying the best of humanity that happens to be an alien. I feel like they made that choice to have Clark be choosing humanity, choosing to have Ma and Pa Kent as his parents. And like, to me, that's obvious. But the internet and these giant Jor-El stans are all like, that's not my Jor-El, hashtag make Jor-El great again. And to me, the choice to make Supergirl kill feels like a similar distinguishing choice between Superman and Supergirl. If you want to make her feel more like she has hardened edges, if you want to make more of the choice of how Kryptonian culture influenced her more and how she was there for the loss of Argo City and culture, and she remembers all this, she's going to come out hardened because nature versus nurture. So her being someone that is capable of killing appeals to that kind of person that sees Kryptonians that way.
Yeah.
And so I see that as a way to distinguish the two, but that should carry on in A Man of Tomorrow.
I hope it does. And I really did like David Cornsweet in this movie. He was...
Every time he was on screen, I was so happy. Like, I was just like giddy.
It did a weird thing where it made me feel like, even though he is my favorite live action Superman, already he was, and somehow this movie made me even understand him a bit more from viewing him through Kara's lens. Yeah, and I thought they actually did something to enhance it, where it got me more excited for their dynamic.
Casting for universe. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I think Milly Alcock, that's why I was so stressed about her performances. Like, in my reviews, stressing her performance. We're going to be with her as Kara going forward. It's not just about the movie. David Cornsweet, you and I both were like, dude, we got a Superman. And then this movie validated that 100%. Because anytime he pops up in anything, I'm going to be like, hee hee hee. Like, he's so good.
He's really good. And I love that he truly embodied a supporting role. It didn't, I don't feel like it ever overshadowed. No, for me. It enhanced the experience, and it enhanced Kara in a way that it is actually the exact opposite way of how I felt about Lobo's insertion in this movie. And that is so mixed. It's so funny because like a lot of people who don't like it are like, but Jason Momoa is great, which is I find so interesting because I'm not as like vehement. I'm not like, I don't hate this movie by any, I don't hate it. And I found myself feeling like I really don't feel like Lobo needed to be in this particular movie. Is he fun? Is Jason Momoa still like the best person to cast for Lobo? Yes. In hindsight, that I've gotten some distance, what excites me about Lobo's future specifically is Lobo and David Cornsweet sharing the screen. I cannot
imagine how that juxtaposition, that'll be fun.
Yeah, that's the real... whatever Rock wanted with Black Adam, like no, it's Lobo, it's Superman, like
that's comic.
That comic, yeah, that's what we want. And so, and the idea of those two, this interpretation going against that interpretation, I think pretty excited for that.
I completely agree because it's Cornsweet is more and more choosing his humanity, and he's got a credo, and he knows exactly who he is, and he has a belief system. And Lobo is a nihilist who he's the last of his race because he killed them all. Clark's the last of his race because they all got killed. Yeah. And so that juxtaposition is a little bit more interesting than like a Supergirl going through her nihilistic era. Yeah. Like they're not similar long-term, but she's in a similar place.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be much more interesting when they're diametrically opposed, like Superman and Lobo.
Yeah. Still, though, to the movie, though, I did think that Lobo wasn't entirely. I don't feel like he was necessary at all. I think they found I think they were writing a version to justify his existence in this, because when he was first announced to be in it, we were excited because we know that Tom King originally wanted to include him in the Woman of Tomorrow comic. So it was like, oh, okay, maybe we can get this adaptation then that we can see that version. I'm like, this doesn't seem like it's that version.
They clearly changed enough that I was like, that's not how we would have used him at all.
And the part when I really realized I did not want him in this adaptation is actually in the finale. This is where I know I differ with a lot of people, because it was specifically when Kara gets shot with Krem's kryptonite arrows. And right away, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a great overcoming moment for her because a big obstacle. But immediately my brain went, oh, but Lobo's here. Lobo's going to show up and save the day because he's just some random thing that's here to help be a plot convenience for Kara right now in this moment. And that's exactly what unfolded when I really feel like if Lobo wasn't there, we could have gotten a much better fight and moment for Kara in that moment rather than just having some random character who's here come in and save the day.
I feel like Lobo represented the cyberpunkification of the movie versus the mystical fantasy elements of the movie. Like for me, Krem is like I said earlier, like I like the juxtaposition of him being like a romance cover lead and is pure evil, but that kind of ties into the tone of the book. Like Bilquis's art is so beautiful and fantastical and has this atmosphere and wonder to it. That's tied into Krem and Comet. And then once you do Lobo and
Comet is the horse unicorn, but a person in there.
He's awesome. But that's fantastical and mythical, right?
Yeah.
As soon as you make Lobo, space pirate Lobo, that is like nihilistic and is Lobo, but you kind of make the whole film have that edge to it. And then you make Krem, you know, a hacker from a 90s movie. All of that really makes it a different tone than what the book's mystical, magical energy is. So for me, Lobo was like, he fit this movie. He fit this take, but that take was so different than what I was emotionally invested in. That's one of the reasons I suggest people read it after, because it's such a different everything. And Lobo's a huge part of that.
I do think this version of Lobo, if it would have worked better with an more comic accurate version of Krem.
Yeah, I agree, because otherwise it's a lot of that one funk.
Yeah.
They look like they smell the same.
Yeah, it's a fair point. That's actually a really fair way to put it. Why do you think... I'm really trying to understand this, and I cannot come up with any real way. It's like, yeah, it's the easiest thing to do with this movie is like rip apart the Krem portrayal of this, because it's like, even if you read the comic, you really don't like it, and if you didn't read the comic, you still don't like it. You still think it's bad. It's like one of those Malekith levels of bad, right? And I'm trying to really understand why they decided to like strip him down to this. The only thing I could think of is that they wanted to try to create a version that has super strength, because Krem does in the comic is not. He's just like a wildling from the fucking Game of Thrones show, you know, and he's like sadistic, but he's got personality and he monologues and shit. He's like a really like fast. He's scary in the comic. Like rereading the comic, a guy with no super strength is somehow scarier than a dude who's fully equipped and has super strength, you know?
Yeah.
And I have no actual reasoning as to what they were even going for to make it work in this movie.
I think they want to make it shorter. I think that's the four, like my opening a few minutes ago, the 4-quadrant blockbuster energy is, how do we lean this out? How do we make him evil at a glance? How do we make him the opposite of Supergirl? And I think all of that was the focus. I think it isn't about, he monologues. That's a great point.
Yeah.
They did not have time for that in this iteration. They chose not to do that take. I think Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is a HBO series. And I think that once you decide to make it a movie, much less like a 97-minute movie, the things you start cutting, because apparently there's a longer R-rated cut, I've heard.
Yeah, Gillespie, I think, said there's like a 4-hour cut.
Jesus.
I mean, when I was rereading the comic, I was like, oh, you could have Zack Snyder's Justice League this.
Oh, 100%. It's an epic.
You could have broken it up into chapters.
Yeah.
You know?
Like the sweeping epic nature of it is the first thing that has to get changed if you're making a movie, and especially if you're trying to make it a summer movie.
Yeah.
This is the first time I at the top of the year, this was, I think, my number 1 or number 2 most anticipated, and everyone else was so worried about the release date. And I was like, it's fine. And then I realized watching it, this is a June 20 whatever movie type. And so I think the film was always engineered to come out midsummer and be this kind of energy. The comic to me reads like a November release. Like it's a different energy altogether. So I think that Krem's the first thing you change once you go like, boom, June movie.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I think that was always the thing that I wasn't adjusting to. And you know, I can't remove myself from the comic. And that's the tricky thing about like discussing the movie is, I think as a movie, it's like Incredible Hulk was the second thing out of the MCU. I think it's that, okay, like we're figuring out what we're doing with building this universe, but this is another great step in growing out the universe. And I think they're in a very similar spot, but I think it's a lot bolder to do a character like Supergirl, to do something like Woman of Tomorrow, than a character like Hulk. And I think, like I said earlier, like 21 films to get to the first female lead. I get all those ingredients, but some of the big changes, I think they were trying to find a palatable version because of those bold swings. I think because it was their second film out the gate, because it's a female-led film, they were like, okay, Krem's a bold take. Let's make him make more sense for a 90-minute audience.
I can see the boardroom coming up with like that decision.
That's all I can.
Yeah,
I wasn't there.
yeah, because clearly we're not like that was the right call. It's just trying to understand why they would maybe go with that path. I feel like if there's a lesson to be learned from the reception of this, because it's harder to find like hard praise or overwhelming praise for this film, audience wise. I could open up to like a B- cinema score. And you know, it's like so beyond like the scrolling of like X and man, I can't believe I call it X now. I've done
It happened to you recently.
yeah,
Last couple weeks.
Stop saying Twitter.
It shifted. It happened.
I actually say X. So yeah, of X and then you know TikTok, whatever the fuck, is that the cinema score is not exactly glowing either. But I think more praise is coming out for it because that's just what happens. I do feel like DCU needs to take a lesson of this and go, I think audiences are ready for kind of a bolder thing.
Yeah,
audiences
I think that's what
ready
Man of Tomorrow is going to be.
I really hope so. Like we need something different because I understand that my thought kind of went there earlier of the Incredible Hulk comparison. It's such a different context now, though. That was 2008 when that happened. It's now 2026. There's been a whole shift in genre medium. You can't really, it's harder to afford a step like this, you know? Like,
but at the same time, I think people saying the DCU is done because one movie is just as dumb. Like, to the other end of your point, that's crazy.
That's what I mean. There's a nuance to it. Do I feel like this was the best step? No. Do I feel like there's lessons to be learned from it? Absolutely. Do I feel like it's doomed? No, definitely not. I really like Creature Commandos. What is not just on my opinion of it, Creature Commandos, I don't know if that was a hit. Was that even a hit? They're making a season 2. So
making a season 2.
Must have done all right.
I don't know how hits work on TV.
Neither
I just don't. Like, I won't pretend to.
I don't know. Yeah. Neither do I. Feel like no one watches Apple TVs a lot of times.
And that's the stuff we love most.
So like 4 or 5 seasons of every show on that. Yeah.
And also, what's his name's got 3 shows on at once, like Rooster, Scrubs, and
oh yeah, Bill Lawrence.
Yeah, and Shrinking, and then Ted Lasso's coming back. So clearly they're doing okay. That he's like the god of TV. But I don't know what that looks like metric wise.
Yeah, it's true. But like, what is it? Like this Peacemaker season 2 was mixed, but Superman, I feel like overall was very positively received.
Yeah.
Overall was positively received. Lanterns, I feel like it's probably going to be a really cool show. And
Clayface looks insane.
Clayface looks cool, and it's really easy to, you know, create the talking points of like, no one's going to be like some D-list levels fucking character. I've heard that like thrown out there of like the Batman villains or whatever. I don't know. That's the boldness, though, that I think.
More people are talking about it at a CinemaCon than almost anything else.
There's a lot of people. Yes, 100%.
Like, I think about that trailer more than I think about the Doomsday trailer. I'm still one of the only motherfuckers that's seen the Doomsday trailer.
Yeah.
That trailer's still not out. And I think about the available Clayface footage.
Well, the Clayface trailer is demonstrating that swing, that doing something different. And Supergirl had an opportunity to truly embrace that instead of trying to fit the Save the Cat movie structure, you know, and that's where a lot of the sacrifice was ultimately made, because now what I see a lot of contention with on and I like this discussion is how the word fun has become like less impactful and seeming like a dismissive way to justify things.
I had a whole talk about this with the Mortal Kombat review. Like I said all my words about Mortal Kombat are the exact words people get mad at when they see in reviews. I thought this movie was fun. I thought it was a crowd pleaser. Like, I literally am like, these are the words that used to mean a good thing.
Yeah.
And now they're like, what do we say that isn't mean?
Yeah. Like, fun isn't good enough anymore.
Right.
You know? Which there's layers to that. I can understand.
Yeah, I mean,
why people say
I
that.
think that mediocrity isn't a bar that should be aimed for. But I also don't think it's a bar that should be the end of all things. Like, you know what I mean? If something we keep saying like middle of the road, okay, like all of our language is like, here it is. None of that is here or here. but that doesn't get clicks.
Yeah. I'll give one part of the comic adaptation credit. I didn't even think about what you said about Krypto, because it's not in the comic of how much you kind of just assume that of the Krypto and Kryptonians.
He represents everything to her.
And the way the movie completely illustrates that is pretty cool. The other thing too,
I also like that he's not in a cape, which implies that Clark put him in a cape, which is really cute and funny.
That's true.
Like he sees him as super dog,
Yeah.
she sees him as dog because it's her home, and that's regular for him, and it's regular for her, irregular for him, and that adds a level of cheeky Clarkness that he puts a cape on him.
Got it. Yeah, that's fun. And there's Zor-El in the comic is very, very not emotional. Like when he sends Supergirl off, he's just like, best of luck. You know? That's the way the Kryptonian men are. Like the way they adapted Krypton here it's such a mixed bag for me. I'm noticing a lot of people really like it, especially those who haven't read the comic.
The flashbacks are some of my favorite stuff.
I feel like in the movie, they are definitely some of the best stuff. And one of the things I feel like they did that I like that they did for adaptation purposes is they made Zor-El emotional and a loving father.
You cast like a very soft boy. I love Krumholtz.
Yeah. How he looks like Bradley Cooper's brother, I have no idea.
We don't have to worry
Doesn't
about
matter.
that. Doesn't matter.
But
we don't know what Kryptonian culture is like.
yeah.
We don't know what their genes do.
No, that's the reason why Bradley Cooper is like, you're going to dominate, have a lot of sex, man.
I'm the alpha, bro.
Zor-El had to have a personality.
My brother's Bernard, bro.
Zor-El was the bullied brother.
Very sensitive. But I liked it. It worked.
But it worked. But in the movie, like in the movies. So this is where I'm in conflict with it, because as much distance as I had from the comic, some of the things that really stuck with me was specifically the destruction of Krypton. How in that comic, what they do is they completely change it here, where she is not even born on Krypton. She's only born in Argo City. And I could see why they would do that I could see like the screenplay idea of, well, then that makes her more personally tied to Argo. I could see the justification of why they would do that. I think after they did that, though, I'm like, no, I feel like it would have been stronger if they did what the comic did, which is she was born on Krypton. She did experience the destruction of Krypton, because once you see that she saw the destruction of Krypton and Kal-El did not see that at all, it instantly, without even having to watch or learn or read more, you're immediately like, this completely explains why they're different, because she got to experience and see this, where he just has the information that it was destroyed. And I think that adds more weight, because she's also learning the destruction of hope. Krypton is destroyed, and then Argo City comes up, and then it's like, okay, there's a few of us left, a few thousand of us left. My parents are still here. This is okay. There's still hope, but then everyone starts dying,
and that whittles away is so much crueler. And there's even a line of dialogue that's great in the film, like the gods are not so kind, about destroyed in a day. I didn't feel that because she wasn't born on Krypton.
Yeah, and for her to say Krypton wasn't destroyed in a day, I'm like, but you didn't experience that.
Yeah,
and I feel like it just would have made it so much stronger, where she has to like bury her mother and keep burying people, like where she's experiencing the hopelessness of what's happening in Argo City, and then she has to be sent away. There's people I've talked to who what you were saying is a really good point about statistic versus like a few people dying. There were people like, yeah, I understand that like her planet blew up and everything, but why is she still such an asshole? Like, you know.
And I never that's been when I said at the top, like, my faith in humanity is always at odds when movies come out. Like I think movies represent a beautiful moment in time where you get an assessment of the culture.
Yeah.
To me, a big movie is like a little blink snapshot of where we are culturally, because it's the biggest thing in pop culture. And I think the reason I let myself be so exposed to it is because when I look back at culture, like 1999, The Matrix and Fight Club and all those movies I talk about, and like we're making really interesting art because we haven't yet been crushed by the realities of the present. Like we are living in abundance, and we're trying to like see what's to come. And you look at 80s future movies, and there's so much utopian content and not quite as much dystopian. And then once 9/11 happens, once all the trauma of America starts really hitting us, we get more Maze Runners, we get more Hunger Games, and we see we see people lose faith in the future. We don't make things about things being good to come anymore. And so I think the reason I try to be exposed is I'm curious, like, where we are on the anthropological level at any moment in time. And I think my biggest frustration with this one has been what you're speaking to right now about Supergirl. It's such an obvious story of a broken person that is suffering. And the most things I've seen are like, I wouldn't want my daughter to look up to an alcoholic. Fuck you. Like, that's an insane perspective on trauma. I would hope that if my kids can understand the depth of pain that she went through, they'd be empathetic. But you as a grown fucking man can't. Like, you don't deserve to watch movies. So, like, I get angry because it gives me such a pause of, like, not only are they intentionally being fucking daft, but they're maligning people's pain and suffering for the sake of their own fucked argument. And it just embarrasses me to be part of the same fucking species as these chuds. I get so fucking embarrassed, man. Like, it just, and this is for a movie that I thought was okay.
Yeah.
So when it's something I love, you know, it's just like, I'm so ashamed to be human a lot, much less American, much less 2026 American. So, like, every time a movie comes out, I go like, what's it like out there? And then it sucks. Yeah. So I think that's why I take it personally.
Yeah, I understand. I understand why you come from that. And I can't fault you for that. So the action. What did you think of this? This is like one where I am not in tune with anybody on this. It was my favorite action scene, and apparently no one likes this.
The third act, the slow-mo,
the literal third act slow-mo. I don't even remember what the song is. That's what everyone harps on.
Yeah,
is whatever the song is and how it didn't fit the moment. It's an interesting discussion when I'm seeing with like Craig Gillespie, because I can completely understand why people would feel like this movie, because we just watched Guardians of the Galaxy again.
Yeah.
And I did find myself going like, it does seem like Supergirl was trying to look like this movie.
What's interesting is the comic looks more like Guardians 2 than the movie. Yeah. But then the movie has moments that feel like it's just what a space opera is in 2020s. Yeah. Like, we talked a lot when watching Guardians about the effect it's had on action movies. For like 10 years, every trailer was like, what if we just do the Guardians trailer? Yeah. And like, so I don't know how much of that is culture as much as, I mean, people are blaming James Gunn and he didn't direct it.
Well,
but he did apparently pick that song.
There's a okay. There's a question to be had of like, do people feel like they need to try to fit in James Gunn's lane? Do they need to try to like do a James Gunn when they come on board? Because that was what the movie really needed to do. And what from the, I haven't seen every Craig Gillespie thing. I've seen Lars and the Real Girl, Pam and Tommy, Cruella, and for what I've seen of his, I'm like, no, this guy loves soundtracks too.
Yeah,
he's got a weird style too.
Dumb Money's got a lot of good needle drops,
and perhaps James Gunn has apparently they are friends beforehand, so there's a kinship with them, and maybe it's like attracts like, so he just happened to find someone who, and maybe Craig. I don't know if Craig. This doesn't really feel completely like a director's vision or an author's vision. It definitely doesn't. You could feel like the whittling down, and especially how some beats could have been done. I still don't feel like he was trying to make a James Gunn movie. I do wonder if they got the same production team though behind Guardians, because the makeup and the look does feel awfully reminiscent of Guardians of the Galaxy. Is that when we were watching Guardians, the thing that we were pointing out, and when does that video come out? Next week?
Sunday, a week from tomorrow.
Yeah, what we were pointing out is how the Guardians was such a fascinating film, because while it was inspired from like Flash Gordon and Star Wars and Dune and all these things, it doesn't solely feel derivative. It's somehow found its own voice and its own unique look, that it's one of the few worlds in the MCU that has a look that you can see. You can go to Disneyland and you're like, Guardians. You can see things that look like, you watch a Supergirl trailer, Guardians. Like, there's a look to it. And this movie doesn't fully achieve that, where It just people feel like now they're just aping Guardians and stuff. And I think they have a harder sell because James Gunn's name's associated with it.
Yeah.
That they had to I feel like they should have swung even harder with a different visual look. And then when you're saying it's based off the comic, which is known for its strange psychedelic look and vibrancy, to strip a lot of that away, which I can kind of understand for thematic purposes of someone who is very cold. Like what Kara's going through is a very cold thing of stripping that down.
Yeah, grimy bars, feeling unwanted, feeling outsider, feeling...
Yeah.
And that's what I understood once the trailer came out. And I was really at odds, like, okay, this isn't the visuals from the comic, but maybe they'll get to that. Maybe it'll grow into her, like, embracing. And I thought it was going to be as she embraced who she was, the vibrancy of the comic came to be.
Yeah.
And I do feel like the color got very, very strong. And, like, there's some really beautiful color. But I think that was the goal, was she was feeling grimy and outside and alone, and so that's what you do with a Western. Like a True Grit inspiration for the comic is clearly a True Grit inspiration for the movie. But I do also think that in 2026, 15 years after Guardians, a lot of things feel like that, and this movie got hurt by DCU James Gunn.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it... Say James wasn't in charge creatively of the DCU, a movie like this would still get compared to it, because that's what any trailer does that feels like this. I think that thematically it was kind of like the Krem thing, where it's like, how do we make this the most direct, palatable version of the Nuance?
Yeah, I can even understand completely changing the Krypto thing.
Yeah. I like the Krypto thing for a 2-hour movie.
Because I think this movie had a bit of a perspective struggle. Where
sometimes I felt like Ruthie's movie, sometimes I felt like Supergirl's movie.
Yeah, where the comic is very so like a big added layer too, especially with this, what I was talking about earlier with the Supergirlisms of her being like Supergirl on Earth, is the world of the comic Woman of Tomorrow really establishes that Superman is also involved in the galactic side. That there's this whole history, so that towards the end of the movie of this one, which is like I think the 5th or 6th comic where they go to the green yellow planet, is that planet was specifically built to trap Superman. They built it because Superman was a big enemy, and they had it so that way the green sun would appear. And then, yes, it is a planet where eventually the yellow sun does come up, but it takes 10 hours for it to happen.
And he had survived minutes
before
the Justice League had to rescue him.
Justice League saved him after 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And then Kara was there for like 10 hours. And I feel like the comic does a really good, because it's so interesting when you hear what people who didn't read the comic say about, like, I feel like they kept coming up with excuses to nerf her powers or depower her. And it's like, well, yeah, it's like that. They do that in the comic, but it's so much better earned.
It's
and
also
explained
spread out on time.
Yeah. And because
you're also reading it monthly.
There is almost like a drunken master quality to her in the comic, where like she does take the red sun pill and powers herself up, and then she does fight back when she is under the green sun, but that also gives Ruthye a big moment. And so in the comic is solely Ruthie's perspective. And it has this monologuing because she's narrating, but also young Ruthye has a very proper way with her vocabulary. It's like from an earlier, like she seems like adult, like a really precocious child.
Yeah.
With like a large language and almost Victorian in the way she communicates, which juxtaposes really well with the modernism of Kara.
Yeah.
So there's like elements where I was seeing that taking place, and I was going like, I actually am getting like the whittling down, because it is different when you're trying to sell a 2 to 2.5 hour movie. And I keep going back to this. So like, I think what audiences I think audiences can get on board for that now.
Yeah.
Though. That's what I feel like they have to do. Like moving forward, like, no, embrace it, man.
Yeah. Do
embrace
weird
the weird.
shit.
Embrace the weird. The weird people will actually like now.
Yeah. I think Superman was the right amount of weird to go even weirder with Man of Tomorrow. And I think Superman being weird and then going to something that tried to be lean didn't work. And so, like, I hope, like, we're talking about lessons. I hope that you look at the results of Clayface being so talked about. You look at Man of Tomorrow having a, full war suit Lex Luthor, and like the potentiality of Lex being a lead. Like, yeah. I don't know what they're exactly doing, but I consider that Man of Tomorrow title very indicative of like Lex and Superman both being Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
All of those things are bold swings. To make your second movie a Lex Luthor movie, like, that's cool if that's what they're doing. And I hope that's what it looks like going forward, because when you look at James Gunn's announcements, it's weird choices. And I think a lot of that upsets people that just want the Holy Trinity, but there's a lot of potentiality in there if they lean all the way in.
Yeah.
And I very intentionally don't know what's happening a year down the road because I do stuff like this. I want plausible deniability.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to know too much and be like, I don't know. Like, I like getting to enjoy these things.
Yeah.
I only saw this a month ago.
Yeah.
And that's really tricky when I feel like this movie is good but not great, but everyone is going to hear me say it's good and be like, Cheryl. It's like, they're not paying me to sit in this chair. Like, I don't get anything out of feeling like conflicted about it. So I'd rather just love it.
Well, here's what I think they can do great with this, because Milly Alcock, while different than what I read, I fucking loved her in this.
Yeah.
I genuinely loved her in this. I was surprised by how much I loved her in this. I was telling you a couple days ago how, like, I watched her interview with her on the podcast, and which I thought was a really good interview, but I was more like, how's Coy doing?
First step back, I'm out of the chair, I'm behind the desk, I'm up here.
I wasn't really paying attention to Milly Alcock at that time. And then after the movie Supergirl, I loved her in House of the Dragon, and I was so impressed with how she made it her own in this film that I found myself watching a bunch of interviews of her and listening to a bunch of interviews of her afterwards, which to me was like, oh, I really did love what she did. And so I'm excited for her future. And similar to how Avengers Endgame did Thor: The Dark World, made that better and took pieces of that. I'm like, I feel like there's a version there where it's
Man
like
of Tomorrow can enhance.
Man of Tomorrow can enhance it in some way. And, like the fact that we got Milly Alcock here is something truly special, because I think she can do something very different, and she does bring. I love how completely different David Cornsweet and her are together, and I think they actually work really well together. To this day, I'm not a big fan of that scene in Superman when she shows up. A lot of people really like that, and it's never really jived with me. Even though I've really tried liking it, and I haven't really. But when I saw this, I'm like, oh, I really like them together now. And the ending moment too, where she calls it home. So it's like, as much as I don't like the choice where she kills Krem, that ending, I think, is actually a really sweet dovetail ending, where she does come back to Metropolis and is choosing a path, and then the layer of being like, home is not Metropolis, she's with Kal-El.
And these book
home.
chapters,
That's a beautiful thing.
We talked a lot about Superman feeling like a single graphic novel that goes into another graphic novel. Like, we talked, because we reviewed that, we watched it together. That was our first like long form commentary. Like, we've talked about Superman a lot.
Yeah.
And we kept going, man, I love that this feels like an issue, and we're going into the next issue. I love that this sets up, but it also feels like its own contained thing. I do want to credit Supergirl with that. I do feel like when this ended, this feels like a beautiful contained story that then does lovely job setting up what's to come.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a strength of the DCU, because I don't feel like the MCU always did that well. The MCU in the beginning felt like, we're leading to stuff. The post-credit scenes are really helping sell them that, though. This feels like they don't always need a post-credit scene to be like, there's more. It feels like a beautiful, like, TV episode chapter, as opposed to Nick Fury. Like, and I love the MCU, but I think that the DCU has gotten to learn from Phase 1 in ways, and I don't think people are talking about those perks yet.
No, not enough yet.
Because I'm excited for Man of Tomorrow even more now.
They're doing more graphic novel. It feels like they're making more graphic. I'm not just talking about the fact that they adapted a graphic novel. I'm saying that it's from watching Superman and watching this, I feel like they're doing graphic novels that will eventually, that's semi-tie-in, and then eventually will have some culmination, versus what the MCU does, which they do brilliantly. But it's more akin to if every movie was Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't mean like a space opera. Like, when we talk about Guardians of the Galaxy, it's, to us, I feel it's like the best individual franchise within the MCU.
Yeah.
And it's also the one that is the least concerned
about the rest of the MCU,
whilst also being something that heavily sets up the rest of the MCU.
It gives us the Infinity Stones. But I was also like, man, how much did he have to change Gamora? Because I was so aware watching Guardians 1 that it is so clear. We kept mentioning it's so clear this is a trilogy.
Yeah.
Like, you feel the setup for Guardians 3 in Guardians 1 for almost every single character.
You feel Nebula's setup for Guardians 2. Like, it's
but
like
I was also so aware
is so set up for Guardians 2.
And that means like, what was Gamora gonna be? Because he didn't choose to be like
Gamora for part 3.
Yeah, like the fact that it's I think the best trilogy, and they were able to stick the landing with 3 after that big of a change.
Yeah,
but I don't think that's going to be what the DCU is, because it feels like it's a longer runway. It does feel like having, you know, a certain amount of creative flexibility. I'm really curious what Clayface feels like because of this, like whether or not it feels like it has to tie in. It is going to be so tonally different.
If it's a hit, they should.
I mean, it's part of the DCU.
They should pivot. They should make it like, okay, no, this is heavily tied in now.
Yeah.
If it's a hit, especially. I guess a couple of last things before. Do we have any super chats, Ray? John's not in today because he hasn't watched the movie. Do we have any? Yeah, we got a few? Okay. Before we go into that, you know what? Actually, I'll pivot super duper quick just to see. Are you able to pull them up on screen for us? I just want to see like if any of what I want to talk about
is already in there.
Already in there.
And we can
So we're not
super
just
chat.
like super repeating everything we're saying. Let me see here.
Hope
How
one
are
of
you feeling, Coy?
Not
Not as bad.
I mean, you know, I'm on the internet, Greg. I'm on camera, forever immortalized
chose this
on
life,
the internet.
Coy.
I did. It was certainly a
chose
choice,
this
man.
life.
It was. Here we are. I hope someone asks about Sony getting rid of all the purchases. We should talk about that.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna make a little bit of notes of like things I might want to talk about if we have time. We will talk about that. Though.
Okay. I
Sony.
want that in there.
I want to talk a little bit more
PlayStation
about
Store deleting purchases.
Ruthye and actions because I got some mixed bag opinions about. Again, a lot of this is like the performance is good. And then there's. I actually didn't even really think about this till other reviews brought it up. And it's such a. This is what I mean by I feel like the extended cut maybe delves into this, and maybe if they harped on this moment more, it would have made the ending better to me. When Krem kills that family, like the child, the two people who tried poisoning Supergirl, and I like how the after moment was Ruthye being like, if you didn't try to save me, that family wouldn't be killed right now,
Right.
And Supergirl is just basically being like, you don't understand, it's gonna haunt you, da 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 da. And I feel like if that moment really like fucked up Supergirl, like really messed with her, like, then I think that would have made that land much stronger.
Because it's all the deaths she prevented by killing him versus like had to be done.
Yeah, but I didn't really get the sense that she was that
The correlation.
bothered by it.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes it just requires like we're moving past something too quick. We need to gestate in this a little longer.
And that's the blockbuster thing I was talking about. Like I think audiences have changed, but then at the same time, I know a lot of people love a 90-minute movie. Like I know a lot of people are like, I just want a movie in 90 minutes.
How long is this?
Like 98 something.
Is it only 98?
It's a very short movie.
That can't be true.
This
is only
like a month ago.
98 minutes.
It's a very
No
short
way.
movie.
Hour 48 minutes. 108.
I had a 8 in there, but okay, it's 10 minutes longer.
I mean, but these movies are usually like 10 minutes of credits.
Yeah.
10 to 15 minutes of credits. That's what happens every time we react to a Pixar movie.
We're like, oh wait, it's
like,
over?
why is this Pixar movie forever? Oh, there's literally 20 minutes of
Or like a
credits.
Disney Plus show where it's like every language has credits here, so this is 45 minutes. But yeah, I think we said, you know, kind of back and forth on the pros and cons.
Things I'm only passionate to talk about are that's it.
Yeah, and I'm not worried about the DCU. I know people are going to only think that's because I work with them, but I don't think one misstep that isn't they didn't step and fall in a manhole cover. They just like stumbled.
Dude, yeah, no, I don't work for them. I didn't really like Peacemaker season 2. I was very like hypercritical of that. And I find this mid, but damn, I'm still super excited for Lanterns. I still feel like that's gonna be the shit. Fucking love the guy who did the Damon Lindelof.
Yeah.
The Watchmen adaptation.
I'm still stuck on Clayface being this year, dude.
Clayface, I'm so excited about. I don't get to cover enough horror here because there's other women here.
Those
Take our
she-jacks
fucking horror movies away from
taking
me.
our jobs.
I love horror is my favorite genre. I've been wanting I am so Mike Flanagan on it. I am unbelievably stoked for what they're gonna do, and I think Creature Commandos get so shat on. I feel like it is amazing.
I had a great time with it, dude. I had so much fun with it.
It's so incredible, but everyone shits on that so much. I'm like, why am I so in the minority on this?
I thought it was a blast.
I'm also so in the minority on the action in Supergirl is passable to me. It's like passably entertaining. At times I got a little annoyed with I hate this Mission Impossible even did it in one of the scenes. A lot of times I feel like it's a cop out to not do an action scene. And if the movie was solely from Ruthie's perspective, none of that would have bothered me what they do here. I just felt like a lot of the time they would go, okay, now that we're in an action scene, it's Ruthie's perspective, so we're not really going to see what Supergirl's doing.
Yeah.
And I don't find that particularly charming a lot of the time. Mission Impossible, the final one, did that too, with a scene with Haley Atwell. Like, let's just go in her perspective while an action scene's happening off here. I'm like, no, I want to see the fucking action. Let me see the goddamn action scene. So the one time I thought that choice really worked strong was the fucking circling shot. I don't know what the song was that apparently pissed off people. I wasn't that bothered. Roxy.
It was like a punk song from the early 2000s.
Do you know what song that was? The Middle? It's actually called The Middle for a movie where a lot of people just feel in the middle about it. Is it called The Middle? Okay.
The lyrics to that song kind of work though, don't they? Isn't it about being like trapped and feeling alone and isolated and overcoming? Yeah.
Like, Roxy loved this movie. Did not like that. And I'm like, thought it was kind of fine. It was a little bored sometimes, but I thought that was a great scene.
Yeah.
And no one likes that scene. So I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Have your own opinion. That's what we do, Greg.
No.
Enjoy what you enjoy.
Whatever. All right, man. You ready to
Let's
go
talk
through
to
this?
some people.
Don't worry. I marked your Sony thing to make sure Coy can talk about the Sony thing.
I think it's very important.
We're able to pull them up on screen, Ray. Thank you, Ray. Ray's first day here manning down the stream for us because we have Ray, who has contributed to our super chats in the past. That's what happens.
In-house. Slowly
Pretty
but surely.
soon, if you just keep super chatting, you will be working here.
Ask Alan Smithy. He'll tell you.
Smithy will be here. Well, Ethan T will be here.
Ethan T will be here just playing Better Man over and over again.
Yeah.
Our Better Man correspondent, Ethan T, is here.
We have John on call in case you need help. Do you need help pulling it up? Oh, dude, no. Dude, I got you. Coy.
No, look. It's John.
John.
John
Take off your
appears.
headphones for 1 second, John.
It's
Can
safe,
you help
John.
him load the super chats? Overall, I'm sure your cutting around between Coy and I has been really good today.
Yes. I feel seen and heard. Boom.
I'm going to do a quick count. So let's end on time today.
Oh, right.
Give me one
Going to a
sec, guys.
Stan Lee documentary tonight.
Stan Lee?
It's about the his mistreatment as an elder in his last years. Documentary.
How long ago did he pass away?
I met him, so it couldn't have been that long ago. 6 years? He was in Endgame, right? So I think 2019, 2018.
Did he get laid a lot?
I hope so, man. He earned it. Hope they called him Stan the
When I
Man Lee.
lost my virginity, I saw a spider on the wall.
And I knew.
I knew.
I'd have to thwip these girls forever.
I went,
I
oh,
want-
Spider-Man.
I wanted to spread that webbing around L.A.
Not everything's a joke, Coy.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to disable the super chats. Thank you to everyone who contributed. So, yeah, thank you so much. I just want to make sure that we end at a reasonable hour today because Coy's sad.
I'm just tired, man. I ate like crap, and I'm tired of the internet, and I hate being empathetic towards humanity because it's failed me before, and it'll fail me again.
Do you watch Jubilee videos? I'm obsessed with those.
Like The Mutant? Does she have...
No. The YouTube channel.
Oh, no.
where it's like liberal versus 20 megas in like a debate setting. You haven't seen those? Oh, they're so entertaining.
I think that would drive me mad.
Oh, it would drive you bananas.
Yeah, no.
I am addicted to them. I think they're so, I watch all versions. I watch Republican versus liberals. I love watching them all.
I don't think I can handle any sort of tribalism right now.
Oh, no, there's one. I like their segment called Middle Ground a lot, though. That is more, I think, our jam, where it's like, oftentimes people have they'll have there was one called like fit versus fat. So they had like 4 super fit people, 4 very overweight people, and they have like a real discussion about it and like really like it gets heated, but also very nuanced and empathetic. And they had one with like ex-Christians versus current Christians and a real discussion about religion. And those are really cool. Promotion for Jubilee. Watch Jubilee, guys.
Someone commented on one of our videos about how like we always praise like physiques and our praise of physiques somehow being fat phobic. And at that point I was like, I don't think I ever just want to hear from anyone's opinion about weight if it's like killing people, but being in shape is like just acknowledging being in shape, being fat phobic is such a hilarious idea.
That sounds like projection.
But that's what I mean. Like I don't think I could handle like a video about it because I'm gonna hear some dumb shit and be like, what the fuck, people? Like, I think the toothless left and the fucking lack of empathy right are both so fucking maddening that like a video about it would just be like, I think we failed. And I would just like acknowledge failure societally.
No, it's a great feeling. All right, ready to do this? All right, so here we go. I got the mic today. Let me go here. So it goes, hi, gents. From Ethan T, my man, the better man.
There he is, the better man.
Good to see you. Nothing better than watching in my RR shirt. You guys are always here when we need us most. When we need us most.
I try to be here when we need us most.
Missed you all. Even you, Alex. We appreciate you. Alex is the G. Congrats to Coy. Thanks, guys, for everything you do. This is Coy's first live stream back since getting married.
Wedding was all. I think that's my favorite day of being alive. Now I
wedding.
have the consequences of being back into society, which I love so dearly.
100 degrees outside and somehow still enjoyable.
Dude, that's how you know it was a good day, because
Yeah.
I did not feel the heat once I was there. Like, once I was present there.
I got the most drunk and hungover I've ever been in years.
I've never seen, like, we went to Denny's, which is always a bad sign that you're too drunk, and you were,
I didn't even eat.
dude, you first were like this, and then over like 20 minutes, you just accepted loss, and then at one point, your feet were out in the aisle, and you were fully horizontal, and I was like, Greg is in public and just doesn't care at all about, like, it was amazing.
Well, I was looking out for your wife. Like,
Yeah.
I literally walked her at midnight. I was like, do you want to go home?
She was like, no.
She was so drunk. She's like, no, we're fine.
She loved to, like,
pretty sure you want to go home.
she had a sixth wave.
So when she was in front of me and she was going to sleep,
You were like,
it was like my Logan moment. So like, it is time. I can rest now.
I've done my job. Now I can rest.
And if anyone knows me in real life, you can ask my family. Like literally, it was my mom. It was Father's Day, and we have my father, dad, so we have to like congregate together, right? They were like, Greg, you decide, and then I only pretend to decide where I'm going to go. And I just texted them. They were like, you know where we're going to go? We're going to Denny's. Like, I'm always at Denny's, and I had nothing at Denny's.
Dude, you had nothing.
So not only was I pissed drunk, and I ate nothing. I passed out, so I was just wildly hungover.
Dude, I was so worried about you. At one point, you disappeared.
You saw me the next day. I had to bump into you and your family. I'm like, all right, act like everything's fine.
Yeah, dude, literally in the lobby of the hotel.
I do not feel good right now.
You had one eye mostly closed, like a pirate.
I'm
just like,
so cranky.
it was amazing.
But yeah, it was a good time.
It was a great time.
All right, moving on. Robert Prusser back again this week. I thought Supergirl was all right. The Argo City stuff was awesome, but Craig felt like Taserface from Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm glad we got more scenes of her and Clark. That's more things that I want to honestly keep hearing, you know, because at the end of the day, her and Clark is where it's all at.
Yeah. Excited going forward.
Do you feel like she'll have a real important role in Man of Tomorrow?
I know she's been flying back and forth. James Gunn said that she's been doing press flying to set, So she's been there a lot physically. I imagine that means a decent amount. I don't think they'd put her through the stress of that if it wasn't important scenes. You know, like I don't think it's just volume of time spent, but like you don't stress someone out unless it's like,
yeah. You know, there's I won't get into it. It's just like the press around her was just ridiculous.
Well, that's why I think I'm so defensive of her.
Like, I didn't know about any of this till like last week. I was so blind to it. Of like all the littlest things she said, where they're trying to make her out to be the next Rachel Zegler. I'm like, guys, you guys are blowing this so out of proportion.
And she's validated everything she said. She said like 6 months ago that like, you know, just being a woman in this big IP is already like a loss because of the shit you go through. And then now she's in this, and then like. She said something about, what was it? Because I got blowback for it. She said something to the effect of like, it's so ironic when you see someone being so full of hate and being so angry, and then you click on their profile and it's like father of four, Christian. And she was saying like it's hypocritical of people that identify as Christian to be.
Yeah.
And instead everybody was like, why does she hate Christianity? Look at this anti-Christian. And I was like, you fucking dumb assholes.
You almost said the word.
I did.
You
I
almost said
did,
the C
but
word.
I didn't demonetize us today. But I was just so mad on her behalf, and that's what's made this movie so hard. Is like I fucking hate people, man.
Anyway, Greg, I'm not going to talk about it and go into it. I immediately go into it.
Yes.
Spidey Sensei 72. What's up, buddy? I love seeing all your returning faces. We haven't been live in a while, and so it's like it's nice seeing you. It is strange. It's like meeting Ray. Like it is, or like when we had our Scum and Villainy event when you're like you get so used to reading names and seeing, and then it's not when you're like not live for a while, then you start seeing these names again. And it's like, oh, I've come to know them as people, even though I don't even know what they look like.
Yeah, I just know the 2D emoji.
Yeah. Spidey Sensei 72, congrats on the wedding, Coy. Just adding to the PS5 fun. Trying to get PS5?
That's the thing I got on my channel, where like if people want to say it's for a certain thing, they can throw towards PS5 honeymoon. All that
that's
stuff.
cool.
Yeah, because I want to get the Wolverine game.
Oh, yeah, cool. All right, good to know. And wishing you and the Mrs. J all the best. And did you ever get the T-shirt?
You know what's funny, Spidey Sensei? I am leaving here, going to the Stan Lee documentary, but on the way, I'm going to my manager's house, and he has it in hand. So I'm getting it today. I'm literally getting it in like an hour and a half. So yes, he mailed a very kind T-shirt to my PO box, which is I share with Ruddy, but I haven't been to Ruddy's house because he had twins, so I haven't seen him in quite a while.
Twins and married, things I did not know until I was talking to his face.
Twins and married, brand new twins. So I haven't been by, but today I am.
I was like, oh damn, you're like
He's been busy.
You're like a whole new individual.
Yeah, he lost like a ton of weight. Got twins.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. All right, moving on. Destin, thank you, Destin. Very generous super chat. The movie is messy, but has nothing but good intentions. It's actually nice to see an audience like this. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I'm so used to different audiences, which is a reflection of Kara herself. I don't get where people on the internet are coming from with hatred for it. It's a 7 out of 10, in my opinion, that DCU will preserve. That's good. That's good. I'm somewhere between a 6 to a 6.5, I would say. Milly Alcock did a lot for me in this movie.
Yeah, I think I'm closer to the 7 out of 10 with a little bit of anchoring to Krypton and Krypto and certain things that are like strong for me, but I definitely I'm in a similar spot. And I do think it's funny that it is a little messy with just good intentions. That is a fair reflection of Kara herself I hadn't thought of.
I just don't feel like I've ever seen a movie that I thought was just kind of like middling, but with a performance I was so in love with.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever had that with a movie. Like, I love this. Like, it's like Joker. I really like the first act a lot, and I love the finale act too, but the middle's kind of whatever to me. But I wouldn't call that a middling experience. Whereas I feel like this is just kind of like a middling experience. But man, I really just thought she was so good that I've never had that before. Like, I just love this performance so
and that
much.
elevates it. Yeah, I could totally see that.
Yeah. Isaac, yes, actually. I actually didn't finish the comic, if I'm being totally honest, so I started reading it again. Isaac, you guys excited for R-rated Batman Nightfall? Bring on Kelly Jones Batman. Also can't wait for the Absolute Batman show.
Dude, that announcement has me amped.
You know who you would love?
Who?
My fucking difficult to walk aunt who introduced me to comics, who hates talking to people. She's really antisocial.
Okay, tell me more.
And on the car ride back home from my mom's birthday dinner, and I was driving her back, she asked me, like, are you still reading comics? And then I'm like, yeah, are you? And she's like, yeah. I've really been diving a lot into, like, she's like this super old Filipino woman from the Philippines. She's a librarian, and she really doesn't like talking to people. But then she started lighting up. She's read all the absolutes.
Dude!
She's like fucking like 80.
I love this so much.
And she's telling me, she's like, I think you'd really like Wonder Woman. She barely talks. Like, she has a thick Filipino accent and everything. She's like, I think you'd really like Wonder Woman. She's like, I actually like her more than the actual Wonder Woman. I'm like, that's what Coy said.
That's amazing. Dude, I would love an 80-year-old Filipino woman to tell me about how much she loves the Absolute Run.
She's so like, she keeps up with all the modern.
That's fucking awesome.
I'm like, God
dude.
damn, like
Reading like me.
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
I do think you'd like the Absolute Wonder Woman. I agree.
I do.
Listen to her.
Made me want to pick it up. I haven't started yet, but
And
Absolute
Martian
Batman.
Manhunter is only 12 issues, dude.
Oh, that's good to know. But Absolute Batman's coming.
And we're getting it's going to be animated. It's going to be show run by Scott Snyder, the writer of Absolute Batman, which is very exciting. We're also getting a Joker show where Batman is dead and he's going through an existential crisis of who he is without Batman and trying to solve Batman's murder. And we're getting a...
Make Joker gay.
Yeah.
Do it.
Woke him up. Oh, that man's definitely gay. Or at least bisexual.
Definitely
He's probably
bisexual.
like pansexual. He probably like anything.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Joker.
He'd be weird.
Live your best.
What if he's a hardcore homophobe? Wouldn't line up with the Joker.
Less funny.
Not my Joker.
And what's the third show? It was 3 shows. Absolute Batman, Joker. I sent you a graphic, I thought. It was a 3rd show announced.
They're doing a Batman Nightfall movie.
Yeah, that's already been trailered up. This was just announced. It was at
DC's.
Annecy. It was, and Mr. Miracle was announced a long time ago. Show run by Tom King. Mr. Rod's
Krypto.
Krypto show. Yeah, they're doing a Krypto show. So lots of good stuff coming out of DC Animation. We're gonna be busy.
Do you think the Krypto character is loved enough where we would be? I know they had that DC Super Pets movie.
Yeah.
Was Krypto the main character in that? We reacted to that. I don't
Yeah,
even
and
remember.
Ace. Krypto and Ace.
That's what it was. Okay, yeah.
I think Krypto I don't know a lot of like the demographic that would be coming in through Krypto, but I'm sure that's got to be big.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, here we go. My neck. Hey, buddy. It's good to see you again. Hey, Greg and Coy, back again. I got married around a month back, so enjoying that time. Hell yeah,
Oh,
dude. Congratulations,
yeah.
man.
Newlyweds, we doing it.
I saw Supergirl on Friday, and it was fine. 7 out of 10. What can James Gunn do now so that the negative reviews don't affect the future? That's a fair question.
We talked a lot about going weirder.
It's also harder when it's like DC's in such a... Warner Brothers is in such a weird spot right now, you know, with the transition and all that shit.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so fucking like, there's so much behind the scenes stuff that we're not even aware of.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I would say, lean into the fact that the audience wants something bold. It is hard because the bolder you go, the more that people that don't want those things will fight against it. But I think this weekend kind of showed people do want bold.
Yeah.
I don't think a traditional, blockbuster is a guaranteed hit anymore. So I think that figuring out what it is that the market is missing and then doing that. I think Man of Tomorrow has a lot of potential. I'm really excited for it more than ever, actually. Things like Clayface.
If I can step in really
Please,
quick.
I'm just meandering.
Just thinking about just think about what other franchises have done, what DC's done before with Justice League, what Star Wars did with Rise of Skywalker. The last thing they will have to do is get reactive and then go, let's be extra safe now.
Yeah.
That does not work. It just backfires and you make things worse. And it seems like you're just responding to a bunch of comment boxes. And now with like, I don't think this movie was written by AI, but whenever something's bad, like, sounds like AI wrote it. And I'm like, no, we've had a lot of like movies that were not well written, that were not written by AI. This is something where they have to just go more bold. That's the only thing they could do.
That actually just reminded me of something I wanted to say earlier. One of the most exhausting things about the discourse on this is we've had so much crappier movies not get half of this anger at them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hope that DC is aware of that. I mean, everyone that I have talked to is very aware of the greater internet. Like, I'm so impressed that DC is killing it in so many different arenas because they're listening but not reacting.
Yeah.
And so after other movies didn't get as much like loud hate that were less quality, I don't think they would suddenly be like, like,
Yeah.
it does feel like they're being tempered.
Yeah. I think what the writer's going through is some people don't want to hear it. It's like, do I think this was a well-written movie? Maybe the screenplay is better than was actually made. Maybe. From what was presented, I do not find it to be a particularly great script. I will say that. I don't find it to be a particularly great script. What I find so amusing, though, is, and I mean that sardonically, is that when it's because a woman wrote it, there's a lot of emphasis on this individual who wrote it. And it's like, that's just the reality of it. A lot of fucking awful movies are written, and a lot of them are from men too. But when it's a guy, they like, you don't really hear a peep about it.
I don't know who wrote Captain Marvel. I thought that was worse.
Well, I don't know who wrote Madam Web.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know who wrote these
I don't know
other
who wrote
bad
Craven.
female movies.
Or Craven, which I don't know who wrote that, but man, that was much worse to me.
I don't know who wrote a lot of these movies. And maybe because there's a lot of emphasis on James Gunn being like, it was a great screenplay and stuff. And so perhaps, but there's so many, like a billion different stages that happen. And I think we all can agree that Captain America Winter Soldier is a very great movie, well written. Civil War, same thing. Infinity War and Endgame, same thing. Amazing movies. The movie they did, those writers did before that, Thor: The Dark World, which this movie's getting, unironically, it's getting compared to that. So
if we'd come out and been like, I don't know, guys, should these guys that did Thor: The Dark World write a Captain America movie?
Yeah,
we wouldn't have gotten Winter Soldier.
And maybe they have credits before Thor: The Dark World that I'm completely unaware of, which is true. I am. I don't know what they did before that. Maybe did they write First Avengers, Captain America?
Yes.
Which I don't find particularly great either. A lot of people love that, but they did Thor: The Dark World. So it's like it does just because they have this because there's just one bad movie does not automatically just because there's one movie that's not well received, I would say, or as strongly received as maybe it ought to have been, does not particularly mean that it's going to mean Wonder Woman is going to be this horrible screenplay then. Nor does it mean it's going to be a great screenplay. I'm just hoping that they have a winner mentality about it, not a naive mentality, a winner mentality to go, okay, we need to learn some lessons. We need to be stronger. We need to make sure we fucking proof the shit out of this screenplay. And it has to be stronger and better received than what we did with Supergirl. So I don't think the solution is fire this person. I think whatever the team is, be a fucking get your competitive mind on and make something great. That's just what I would say.
I don't know how they're scheduling because that's above my pay grade, but I'll be really interested to see like what the next wave looks like after the stuff we know, right? Because we don't know a lot of what's like Man of Tomorrow wasn't in the original announcement, and certain things have shifted down and up and stuff. So I'll be really curious what this does as far as like when they announce stuff and what gets announced next. Like that's my big curiosity is like what's next? Like do we find out after Man of Tomorrow? Do we, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. All right, here we go. Thank you. Sebastian Welch. So happy to see here, you guys. Just saw it last night. I'm going to see it again 3D on shrooms. Oh, Can you imagine if they did an accurate visual comic adaptation?
That dragon scene on shrooms on the big screen would change my life. I'd go to Cosm. I'd see it like immersively and just.
There are definitely like things that I do feel like that there is a version where they could have done like it's a tall order that they could, and I feel like you can get away with it with Batman, but not with Supergirl. Like on your first outing with Supergirl, a 3-hour version of Woman of Tomorrow.
If they had a young girl take psychedelic things that made her see dragons, the amount of Fox News twats would just be insurmountable. Like they already are using that like dumb Variety review that was so whistleblower to just like have talking points. Like the Milly Alcock saying she probably goes both ways. Like, why is that a problem? And so like I think that's just it would give. I think they had to take some things out for the other side, and I think that kind of neutered some stuff too.
That's
because we got to make sure young girls aren't impressionable.
Nationalism. Well, yeah. I hope you have fun on those shrooms,
dude. Have a good time. I'm jealous.
I've never watched a film in the theater on shrooms.
I don't know if I could be in the theater itself, but if they have the might.
If I take too much microdosing, I get like tense in my shoulders. So I don't even like
the whole movie. Just like
I get like this chattery thing. I'm like, I haven't.
I think the craziest theatrical experience I had altered was like I did Edward 40 Hands, but with Four Locos back when they were like the real ones. Edward 40 Hands. When you tape alcohol to your hands, like a 40 of alcohol, like a 40 ounce, you tape it in your hands. So you're like Edward Scissorhands, but it's Edward 40 Hands.
Okay.
Did you go to college?
No.
Okay, that would explain it. College culture is very, how do you make drinking a pro sport?
Yeah.
But Edward 40 Hands, you can also do with other liquids. So we taped the original Four Locos.
How you went to college, and you seem like a great example of the reason to go to college.
I support.
Did you not go to college? What a loser.
This is where you learn culture, Greg.
Education.
This is where you learn culture. The original Four Locos had more caffeine than like a pot of coffee in them, so it like made your heart like go to dangerous levels because it was a depressant and an accelerant. Okay. So Four Loko was quickly made illegal. But before it was, I remember doing 2 Four Loko in 2 hours of Transformers 4. We called it Transformers 4 Loko, and like blacking in and out of Dark Side of the Moon, and just being like vaguely aware of Transformers. And it was the closest to a psychedelic experience I've had in a theater. It was amazing. But I usually do that shit at home.
Good.
Rango.
By yourself. In private.
Yes.
I usually drink 40s by myself.
Yeah, now that I'm over 30, I drink alone at home. Like a happy
bottle
person.
Of vodka by myself.
Yeah.
When the wife is gone.
Make sure it's the plastic jug so I know it's good.
All right, moving on. Wow, what a very generous super chat. Thank you, Von Rouse. Thank you. Wow. Congrats, Coy, on your marriage.
Thanks.
Congratulations. And Greg, the workout journey has been really inspiring, so thank you for that. Well, hey, Coy himself has been on a crazy workout journey. How much weight did you lose?
19 pounds.
You weren't so focused on pounds. Like, what was your...
I was like a total recomp.
Yeah,
so I lost 19 pounds of fat, but I gained 5.6 pounds of muscle like from my raw body weight. So it was actually like a 30-pound weight loss and recomp. And it was my shoulders grew 3 inches. My biceps grew 2.5. My neck grew 1.5. So like I changed sizes.
Nice.
And now I took 2 weeks off. I feel awful. I'm going back.
Stop judging me.
Yeah, no,
I can tell you're judging me.
I'm
Stop
judging
judging
me. It hurts. Dude, it's crazy how when you eat good, how food that's bad for you, your body knows now.
Yeah.
Didn't used to know. I used to just be able to function. Now it knows.
Yeah.
It knows what goodness is. But yeah, I think like a fitness journey is really like we were talking before, like mental. Like I'm excited for the psychological shift back because I was enjoying how I felt more.
We've talked about it extensively. Like, just immediately make it about me. How we went into because after I got my photos, it's been a fucking hard like I have like real I think I've been watching shit about eating disorders. I'm not gonna say I have a fucking eating disorder. I'm not gonna say it. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. In like a different direction. Is that I'm like I do just my life every moment revolves around food in some way, no matter what shape I've been that way my whole life. I'm thinking even during this time, like food. Oh, should I not? You did like it's my life. It revolves around it so much. So after the photos and I had no goals, I was like, I just started like binging again, and I gained like a bunch of weight back. So my photos, I was 172. Then I got to like 191 at one point.
Whoa, like 20 pounds back.
And yeah, but now I weighed myself just yesterday. I'm back to 183, and I do feel better.
Yeah.
Whilst having times where I will get pissed drunk once in a while.
And you
So
were
it
lean
feels
enough
better.
that it was affecting you that way too. Like
Yeah.
that 172 was like that's not a sustainable weight.
No, it wasn't.
I think that like now it's sustainable and you can kind of like.
Yeah, but I was like, I'm seeing it in video. What was discouraging me was we would film these podcasts, and then I'd see you losing weight and my cheeks getting bigger, and I'm like, I'm definitely
Wait
like,
a second.
not as healthy anymore.
That was what I was
Yeah.
afraid of with these 2 weeks off. Is I'm
Yeah.
like excited to not. I'm excited to stop it
Yeah.
now,
But
so I
I'm-
can like not keep going.
But I'm much like even today. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna eat whatever I want today. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm much better now.
Good.
Yeah, I am better now, but my mind does revolve around food a lot. But anyway, just want to get those both compliments out now. Now my question is, do you both think that James Gunn reused Guardian set pieces in this movie?
James Gunn didn't make this movie.
He didn't. Did he get his like? Did he get the makeup team or the art production team? Did he get those people on? It's a question that I'm asking as if it's a mystery when I could easily Google this and find the answer myself.
IMDb.
But
like-
that would be probably the biggest issue that if they did that.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are assuming because of the tone and the style, but I don't know if I know he used the Guardians costume designer from Guardians 3 for Superman. But that didn't immediately make me go like Guardians.
But Superman doesn't look like
That's what I'm saying.
his
It's
other
like,
movies.
yeah, so I don't know if that is continuing into not his directing movies.
But in terms of set pieces, I don't think he used set pieces now.
No.
I do feel like some stuff was like a lot of people have called it like the Mad Max inspired thing, and I could kind of see like some of the aesthetic choices to it, but the movie doesn't have the vibe or feel of Mad Max Fury Road, and some of the choices I feel like, again, this movie would have benefited from a longer runtime with like completely aping the whole brides thing that just, if you've seen Fury Road, you're like, they just took like a section of Fury Road and then inserted here, and I'm like, this doesn't really feel fleshed out and it feels just kind of odd being in this movie.
I think
I don't
only
know.
seeing them once was, or like maybe twice was an odd thing to have like that reveal.
Did they have the moment where they like shoot?
Yeah, because that is the
It's like-
first
it's
time
like
we
a
really spend
badass
time
film,
with
like,
them.
but I don't even fucking know who these people are. Yeah.
Who are you? Also, I don't think that like that we didn't get to see anything except that moment of them. It would have been nice to see like them safely on another planet, or like a moment of like,
Sure.
you know, redemption of like they're good.
Yeah, true. Very true. Good points, Coy.
A denouement.
Yeah. Or maybe they deserve to be in that position. Who knows? Duck Dude. Switch it to Marvel. When you rewatch the Spidey films, would you consider doing the editor's cut of Spider-Man 3? In my opinion, improves the black suit a lot. I didn't even know there was an
Didn't know
editor's
that.
cut.
I didn't know there was an extended cut of Spider-Man 2 till Greg brought me for my birthday. Was that birthday or was that engagement? Something.
No, it was your birthday.
It was birthday. It was September.
I mean, I
But
brought,
yeah,
I brought Anya too.
that was fun, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know there was that until you brought me. So Spider-Man 3 is news to me.
Just 10 minutes. That 2.5.
They were cool.
10 minutes of footage that
like-
when I watched it was like, yeah, I can see why
That
they cut
makes
this out of
sense.
the
That was
movie.
deleted.
Yeah.
That is a deleted
Doesn't
scene
quite
feel.
do much.
Yeah.
They have a
But-
famous J. Jonah Jameson scene that.
That is sick.
That's
That
a fun
seems-
scene.
I'd be down to watch an extended cut.
I'm always down to watch a different version than one we've seen before.
That's Are we doing that in the road to?
Oh, so we were gonna do the Spider-Man commentary in the lead up to Brand New Day, but a variety of things cause a shift. But then the top one, I would say, is we have a couple people here who actually haven't seen the Spider-Man movies, and I know that it would benefit them especially, and they would get more traction if they went first and did their first time watching, and then we could do our commentaries after.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're gonna do their first time watching, and then we're gonna start releasing those sometime in July.
Spider season's here.
Closer to No Way Home, Coy and I will do the commentaries for. And for you guys who've been watching our Road to Doomsday videos, thank you. Those have been a lot of fun. And it is cool to be doing something actually like, yes, reaction form, but also more commentary form. So really appreciate you guys watching. This has been a lot of fun in film. All right, here we go. Ramos Binges film, thank you. Personally love Supergirl. Finally, a love here. Really emotional, and I felt it definitely captured the essence of the comic. Despite deviations from the source, I get not liking it, but I just don't get the hate. Yeah, like there are people who I talked to as well who do love the comic, and they felt I think they liked being reminded of the comic in there, so they were still able to connect with it. There are parts that and then part of me was liking that too. It's at the end of the day, it's where we know it just dawned on me where I think a really great middle ground could have been if it was kind of like the heart of a James Gunn movie with the ability to adapt visual style of Zack Snyder, then they could have done something pretty amazing here with making an accurate Woman of Tomorrow adaptation, you know? Like Watchmen, we really liked watching, but then it kind of misses a bit of a soul when we're watching it.
I don't know how much Zack Snyder identified with the third act. Even I know why he changed it, but even just narratively, I don't know how much he identified with it.
Like I really enjoy it, but there is a bit of an emotion missing in that movie, which is sometimes what happens with Zack Snyder movies.
I think of Zack Snyder as more industrial than fantasy. I'm trying to think of like a fantasy director because I would have loved to have seen like the heart of, like Rob Reiner, but with like I almost see it as more Princess Bride.
Yeah, no, I can see that from the narration.
Yeah, that's more of the. I would have loved a intense James Gunn meets Rob Reiner, which is a hell of a weird combo in my brain, but like something like that had a fantasy heart versus an industrial heart.
Yeah, I don't know if I can't think of any directors today who would.
Because Robert Eggers is pretty dark in his fantasy. He does like gothic fantasy.
Who did Mandy? That's like a dark ass movie, but if they could have a bit of a heart.
This is kind of what I was talking about earlier, and I think I kind of
Panos Cosmo. What's that fucking guy's name? I can't remember, but I feel like his style feels like he'd be going. You need someone who could embrace the ethereal.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what validated my point earlier of like they don't make movies. I think 1999 was the end of making movies. Because The Matrix is obviously dark, and Fight Club's obviously dark, but Fight Club is about people feeling lost and looking for something in darkness. And I feel like we've just kind of embraced darkness in a different way.
Sure.
And we don't really have fantasy movies anymore. Like, I can't think of the last fantasy movie that did well enough to warrant more fantasy movies. Like, we don't make them. So the fact that I can't think of a director, Rob Reiner made Princess Bride in the 80s. Like, that's crazy.
That's true.
Like, Legend was Tom Cruise's, like, third movie. Like, there haven't been, I haven't seen it. There haven't been fantasy movies.
It was funny. As you're talking, I was like, oh, younger, like, Ridley Scott might have pulled this off, actually.
Yeah, because he's kind of both.
Yeah.
But yeah, that tone would have been my jam.
All right, well, moving on. Glad you loved it, man.
That makes me happy.
A cool guy, 169 Arouse. That's our last name is our friend Vanessa Arouse. I love Millie in this, but not gonna lie, every time David was on screen, put a giant smile. This puts a smile on my face. Also, kind of wish the movie was an HBO Max show. It would have been a great miniseries, that's for sure.
Especially like how Game of Thrones budget, like House of the Dragon, they be doing dragons. Like I if they threw money at it, I'd love 8 episodes for an 8-issue comic.
Well, not just that. I mean, the Green Yellow Planet, and in the comic, there's a whole thing where she's incapacitated, and Ruthie's like fucking. That's when
she's taking care of her.
Like the movie replaces that with like the ability to like fight and be on her own. Replaces that with the whole Lobo breakout scene, which is like silly, and, like kind of fun. But in the comic, she's like fending off like dinosaurs and shit. Like
that planet's awesome.
Like Ruthie's pretty cool in the comic. Like she's annoying she can be like annoying to some people, but she's pretty cool though. Like she grows into a really cool character. And she really becomes badass on her own. But it does feel more like older woman and a child, like surrogate child. Yeah. Whereas this movie kind of has more of like a sister's vibe, you know? And so it is a very different vibe because I do think Milly Alcock does come across like younger, her height too, and so the fact that her and Ruthye are pretty similar in size makes it more like feel like teenagers.
It did not have the lone wolf and cub thing the comic had.
No, it did not. So it does give a very different impression.
But I was smiling when either David was on screen. I think Corn Sweat and Krumholtz were both incredibly like warm and nurturing energies.
True. Alan Smithy. Thank you, Ryan, is the real name. Afternoon, you beautiful rejects. Congrats, Coy, on your nuptials. I thought it said nipples. Despite your Supergirl depression, you are clearly glowing. You're glowing. You're not depressed about You're depressed about other stuff
Depressed
around
about
it.
society.
Greg isn't glowing anymore, but he's still kind of shiny. What the fuck? What does that mean? How dare you? I mean, I'm not glowing. I didn't go to the steam room today.
He's been married for long enough. He's just shiny.
When will the rest of the rejects tie the knot? Who's in relationships?
I think Aaron's next.
Aaron's in a relationship.
Aaron's been in a longer relationship. Rod's been in a while though.
Aaron.
Who
Probably
works
Aaron.
here?
Probably Aaron.
Probably Aaron.
Probably Aaron. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy that it actually feels different. Like to me anyway. Like when I got engaged, I was like, that makes sense. But like now that I'm married, I'm like, it's got like a different thing to it.
You got rid of all the other women.
Finally.
Yeah. Smart.
Took a while. When you met me, I was figuring it out. But now,
yeah, Anya was really patient.
She was so patient,
very
but
forgiving. I'll tell you,
kind, gentle. But I will say, like, I've never had other than I think like high school graduation. That felt like it was a life change day. Usually, life change days feel like that retroactively. Like in 2 years, like that did change things. Whereas like the wedding day, I was like, this changes everything, and then it continues to.
That's awesome, man. No,
yeah,
you got to be a king to your queen.
At my castle, when it was so much fun.
I'm going to text John. He's being requested for this.
Oh. To be wed?
Let me see here. John, did you say?
Yeah. You said he's been requested and it's about tying the knot. What's happening?
Let me see here. No, someone requested something for him here.
Oh. Oh, John's ready.
Oh, John's ready. Okay, John got the memo. Jeff Carroll says, rejects, can I get a shout out for my 30th B-Day? Trying to ignore existential fears that come with the milestone and instead enjoy season 5 of The Bear while making homemade Italian beef sandwiches. Also, John, can I request your most unhinged La Cine Gaib yet? Thanks for all the joy and laughter, rejects. P.S. I enjoyed Supergirl.
Lisan al-Gaib! Lisan al-Gaib! Lisan al-Gaib! It's okay.
The most unhinged has been requested. And I think I've never seen you whip your hair back and forth like that. Like Willow Smith. But you did. It was beautiful. You turned a lovely shade of puce. It was a nice pink purple glow. Excellent work. Jeff Carroll, I hope you enjoyed your Lasan Al Gaibs. And 30's nothing, man. I remember being freaked out about 30 so much. I started saying I was 30 at 28. Then I turned 30 and I was like, eh. But 30's chill, man. 30's the new 20. If you look at like Cheers and shit, like how people looked when they turned 30s in the 80s, that's a 30. Now it's just being 20-some.
That is true, man. All good points. All right, here we go. Sorry. I shouldn't have tried to text John. I got like 12 messages.
Don't do that. Don't acknowledge the world.
Hayden Brown. Off topic. Oh, no. Also, Jeff Carroll, happy fucking birthday, man. Thank you. Happy birthday, my friend. Hayden Brown, off topic. Eternals fixed an MCU plot hole. Thanos had reason to eliminate half of life to stop celestial births who destroyed his home, but it bothers me we never explore this. Thoughts? Love you guys. Do you think we'll get more Eternals?
I do. I think we get them in Secret Wars. I think very intentionally they're trying to have us like distance ourselves from that. One, because it didn't do well, but two, because that's going to be a very important part when we go back to the big macro. And I think we get at least 3 to 4 Celestials and Eternals back.
Now, there's 2 kinds of applauses that happen. One is like, woo, fuck yeah. The other is, I feel like we should applaud, and then you feel people slowly all coming in like, yeah, I guess we should applaud.
I'm okay with either.
Yeah.
'Cause I look forward to... I'm so excited to watch Eternals on our road to Doomsday,
my question
dude.
is, which applause do you think will happen in the theaters?
I think we will get a Thor the Dark World-esque retroactive awesome scene with them, and it'll be like, I maintained the coolest Speed has ever looked on cameras in Eternals.
Okay. Oh, with oh god, what's her name?
Icarus? No, Icarus is Richard Madden.
The fucking hearing impaired girl.
Yes. That one.
What is her name? Oh my god, can't pull it right now.
But I think like a scene like that and like a bunch of dynamic moments will get like a pop, and that'll get the legit applause. And I think we'll retroactively. I think Eternals is one of the most slept on.
I think that and Man of Steel Super Speed with the girl
Looked great.
fucking fighting. Yeah, those are my favorites. Maybe we'll get those answers. Not Chandler Bing. No, I get it. Hi, friends. How was the World Cup out there? I don't pay attention, man. I was at the gym doing the treadmill, high incline. Wasn't running. Not going to make it out to be something I'm not.
Come on.
And yeah, people were just talking and watching all the screens. And I was watching a Jubilee video about whether or not it's good to be Christian. That's what I was doing.
I saw a big ball the other day. And it said FIFA, and I was like, oh,
people care.
people are. I mean, the big oversized middle was like a display.
Yeah.
I was like, good for someone.
Yeah.
And it seems to be going well. People are happy. I like seeing. You know what? I take back a little bit of my snark. I've been really enjoying on my TikTok algorithm seeing people from other countries discover American stuff, and also see people like bonding when they wouldn't have the circumstance to otherwise. Like, there's a lot of Scottish people in Boston right now, and like Boston culture is so Celtic that it's really cool to see like the worlds collide and people be like, I'm going to Scotland next year. I already bought my tickets. And other like Japanese people discover our food. I don't know. It is making me feel a united Earth in a way that is exactly the opposite of reviewing Supergirl.
I was like 10 minutes ago, Corey was saying, I hate humanity. I hate it all.
But that's what's countering it. I keep finding myself on TikTok and scrolling through like Hope Core to try to like balance out my rage.
All right, here we go. Buster Barnes, he's got a two-parter here. So we got, there's like, I see Nick Alexander's in between there. So why don't we do this just to make it easier? We'll go to Nick Alexander first, and then we'll go Buster Barnes. Nick Alexander, I have to wait until home video to see Supergirl. We just had a baby.
Congratulations.
You can make excuses or no, I'm kidding. I still got my ticket.
Wow.
I hope they keep strong with adjustments and don't make too many reactionary moves like the old DCEU. That's exactly what I was trying to say. Is these studios tend to like fucking freak out when it's like, no, sometimes the solution is you got to be more bold and do something different. If anything, there was criticisms of like watering it down and making it more generic than it ought to have been. So don't do that. Like, be more bold.
Congratulations on your little Kara Zor-El.
I hate that it's like taking time away from the theaters, though. Maybe consider returning that baby.
Yeah, I mean, if there's like a receipt, I don't know what kind of return policy you got, but if you got to go to the movies, you got to go to the movies.
Return to God.
Yeah, stork. But yeah, congratulations, and I love that you still bought a ticket. I do that when I get screenings to stuff. Like if I get invited to a screening, I still buy like an AMC ticket, so I am contributing.
Yeah,
and I think
I bring babies with me too.
That's the trick. Is you want to make sure everybody else is also like, I want a child crying baby.
Yeah,
that's the trick.
I love a crying baby in a theater.
On a plane, on a train, in a theater.
Like,
put me in.
That's
coach.
what I want.
Yep, love it. Music. Congrats.
It's weird how a lot of us want babies, but then when there's a crying baby, it's like
there's immediate like, why would you do this?
Motherfuckers.
Especially on like a cross country flight. I'm like, it's 6 hours. Why is my life affected for 6 hours when yours is affected for 6 years?
So it becomes like a personal.
It's
like traffic. Why is this happening to me?
I'm affected temporarily. Who are you?
Like, their stress is probably
so much worse.
So
exponential. Because they know 80 people are going like,
but I don't. Yeah, not only they have the baby, they also have the social dynamic, and they know everyone's mad at them.
They're also getting off that plane with the still crying baby. Like, their day goes on, and we're done.
And we're just annoyed for a while.
Yeah, it's so insane. But every time, without fail, my brain can't.
Yeah,
I don't have this level of calm and rationale. Then, no. Next time, still fuck that baby. What's happening?
Buster Barnes. I thought Supergirl was decent, but reality is it's not been received that well. It's not going to be a success financially. That is true. But maybe it'll gain fandom over time. The next movie after Man of Tomorrow needs to be a heavy hitter, as well as Man of Tomorrow, to build momentum. But it just come out that the Wonder Woman script is still in early stages, and we're coming up at the time when the 2028 movies would be announced. So, I don't know. I think now more than ever, you got to take your time with those screenplays.
You can only release them once, man. Like I honestly like the reactionary stuff we were just talking about, and we were talking about with Nick. That is, you don't want to make an announcement you're not ready for, and you also don't want to be like, gotta get this out. But I think Man of Tomorrow is gonna. I mean, the fact that we're getting Superman 2 years after is huge already. So I do think there's enough momentum there for some goodwill, and we're getting the Batman and Superman in 1 year. 2027 is the biggest year in DC Comics in my estimation. Like Superman and Batman in 1 year is insane. But 2028 is obviously a big deal. I just hope they don't rush whatever that is.
I think Man of Tomorrow could really change a lot because that's the first unifying movie. It's not the like Avengers of it, but they're gonna have Jon Stewart in there. They're gonna have Supergirl. It's the first time we're gonna see characters from other properties actually. Like Rick Flag Sr., I would not count. Like the Creature Commandos version is not the same as the fucking Peacemaker or Superman
Peacemaker
one.
had a cameo in Superman, Greg.
Yeah, it's not
Clearly,
the same
that's an
thing.
Avengers level event.
It's not the same. So this one would actually have like them as characters.
Yeah.
So I think that would give us the best insight as to, okay, now we're watching like a bunch of these heroes specifically on screen together. What does that feel and look like? And will that be exciting to witness?
And that's only a year away. So I think that's a really good scheduling choice to like keep making sure we've got a constant DCU plus Clayface.
True that, son. I know we got some Streamlabs. We're almost done here with the super chats. And then, but we're making good time today, Coy.
Woo!
Robert Pusher. Tin Fat Hole Theory. I think Supergirl will be on site with Lex and Man tomorrow and gets close to killing him by halfway in the movie. Have a great weekend. But then she'll be like, I'm haunted by killing that one guy with needles in his face.
Can't kill him, too.
Can't kill this guy who's ruining everyone.
Kara hates the
literally
balds.
splitting the world in half.
Getting at every bald
But
bad
this guy who bothered a girl, I killed him right away. But not this guy.
I think there will be a...
That's why I'm saying it should affect her.
Yeah, there will be a consequence and a conversation at least. I do think there'll be ramifications. I don't know what they look like yet, but I agree. There'll be something.
Yeah. I just hope Alexa's head fits more in that helmet. Buster Barnes back at it. This
Looks
movie
great.
could have gotten so much better if it was 10 to 15 minutes longer and fleshed out Supergirl's relationship with each other's characters. It's a very big sentiment of what we've been. I mean, I feel like it needed like 30 to 40 more minutes. I don't mind a long movie as long as there's long movies you can watch where you're not aware of the time.
Yeah.
Because if it's a good movie, you're going to fucking just ride with the wave. But I think I do understand though that, we have it to this day when it's like, it was 2.5 hours.
Well,
oh my
we
God, what a
especially because
commitment.
it's like, I have work. It's not
I'm
like...
aware the runtime
Yeah.
is associated with work time with us. So,
And
yeah.
also like scheduling time in the day. Like when I go see a movie, I'm like, oh, it's 3 hours. I got to like make a whole day of it.
Yeah.
Like going to the theater. I get all those things, but if it sacrifices the movie by making it shorter, not worth it.
No. The idea is that the surrounding parameters of going have to be alleviated with a good movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I won't be thinking about runtime after, during, or before.
Yeah, true. Just Khaleesi, here for the Modest Mouse in the DCU.
That needle drop made me so happy. I'm such
Sat
a big
it
Modest
in a
Mouse guy.
coffin at one
Yeah,
point playing.
dude.
That's right.
I was so happy.
I remember being like, I don't think I've ever heard this song in a movie before.
It made me so happy.
And every time I've heard that song, it is such like a movie song to
Yeah.
me. It is
so cinematic.
I didn't imagine it for the movie, the moment they used it. That's not what I imagined it for. I imagined it more for like a much darker sat in a
Like
coffin.
a Burton-y feel.
Yeah, yeah, or even like a fucking, I don't know, like one of those slow zoom shots in like a fucking Fincher movie or
Yeah.
a Scorsese movie, but not there. But I was still happy to hear it.
I was so I actually talked to Millie about that because one of the last things Heath Ledger directed was a Modest Mouse video.
Oh,
And
really?
Yeah. She and I are both like huge
wait,
Heath
yeah,
Ledger
yeah.
fans. So that King Rat video he directed, we were talking about like Modest Mouse and the importance to us.
That's
and
cool.
And she was saying how like she loved that landed in the movie. I think Wet Leg's also great. I hope people discover Wet Leg through this.
Humphrey's a huge Modest Mouse fan.
Oh, is he? I've got almost all their vinyl and I've seen him live 4 times.
Destined. Cinema score being a B- makes it sit lower than Wonder Woman 84 and The Flash, which leads me to raise an eyebrow on the true earnesty of reviews.
I liked it more than Wonder Woman 84.
At the end of the day, make up your own mind, and cinema scores don't mean a lot. Okay. Every movie's different. Hereditary is a beloved horror movie. It's beloved. I remember fucking audiences hated it when it came out.
Yeah. Fight Club flop.
Fight Club.
My
Yeah.
favorite movie of all time.
Now, do I think this movie is going to be like the more impact movie that will become a cult following? No, I don't feel like it's going to do that. But I don't really compare. I think this movie is much better than those movies, personally. I really do. I think it's much better than those films.
I also think that like the thumbnail culture has changed a lot with how people choose to see movies, and I think YouTube and those things are so different than even this era, and so I think there is a direct correlation to box office with reviews to a different scale because no one has money. Like the world is insanely expensive, and it's $20 to see a movie. Like there's a lot of things that go into it that don't equal just quality. I'm not saying it's the best movie of all time, but I do think there are factors outside the movie.
Fair enough. Fair enough. C Black, thank you. I'm old enough to remove when people were more excited for Supergirl over Doomsday. MCU hate was really out of control to prop up new DCU. Crazy talk. Honestly, I think where maybe with the comic community where it went a little bit awry is when I remember being with you when we reacted to the Slate announcement.
Yeah.
And he's like, and we're going to be adapting, and we're making, it was at the time, the subtitle was
called
Woman of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And for comic fans who knew it, and I hadn't read the comic yet at that time, people were, there was a lot of you.
Yeah.
And a lot of like, they're going to make that?
Yeah.
And then when they did not that, especially tone, mood, visual-wise, I think that's where a lot of that letdown with comic community can especially factor in. But then again, like I said, a lot of people who read the comic who actually really enjoyed this movie too.
I was team, more anticipated. I definitely, I think this was in my top 2 or 3 of the year. And that's because of the comic. And I think I might end up enjoying Doomsday better, but I still have my concerns about Doomsday. So I think it's all we'll see in December to know.
I think when Doomsday comes out, the big question will be, was it better than Supergirl?
Oh, it's already, nobody's going to think about anything else.
No,
it's all
that's where the comparison
like
comes
every
in.
thumbnail is going to be like, oh
yeah, Supergirl versus Doomsday.
I can see them now.
Which
like
one?
Versus?
It's definitely the same.
Yeah, 100%.
Same metric.
Easy.
Destined. Write a female lead with no perceivable flaws. The deplorables complain. Write a female lead with faults and critique those flaws in the story. The deplorables complain. Supergirl was a lose-lose. It's so hard to write Superman had similar complaints.
Yeah.
I will say, again, there are times in this movie where it's like, did she forget she had X-ray vision? Because she definitely could have seen some stuff if she used her X-ray vision. But it is a problem with Superman and Supergirl where there's a big camp that just wants to see them unleash in full-scale power through most of it.
Yeah.
But then it minimizes. It's just so funny because my aunt, she doesn't watch any of the movies. The one who reads all the comics.
Yeah.
She has no interest in watching them. She's never seen the Batman. I'm trying to convince her to watch the Batman.
Wow.
I'm like, you will love the Batman, Auntie Pinky.
That's the one.
You'll
Give
love
us one.
Like, watch that. But, like, my uncle didn't like Superman, and she heard his complaint, but she didn't even see the Superman movie. And she said exactly that. She's like, it's like you can't win with people because it's like Superman wouldn't be interesting in a movie if he just has all the powers and then there's no conflict then.
Yeah.
But then when you have to put him in situations where he has powers diminish or is losing,
Because everyone's like, oh, he gets beat up the whole movie.
You're nerfing this guy.
Yeah.
But it's like, what fucking movie do we have?
People were so mad when he got hit with a can. Like, it's so exhausting.
Like, I love those Equalizer movies, but Denzel Washington never has a struggle.
Not a moment.
Not a moment to struggle.
He has emotional struggle.
Emotional struggle. And there's a lot of surrounding elements of those movies that are so gripping.
But he's just awesome.
But he's never in danger.
Yeah.
Like, every 3 movies of him just undisputably whooping ass the entire time,
But nobody talks about Denzel like he's got like these issues.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, you're totally right, Destin. It is exhausting.
Although Wonder Woman fucking pulled it off pretty incredible. They didn't have to depower her.
Yeah.
And they managed to make a pretty moving film.
I think that first Wonder Woman's incredible.
It's like that. Literally, everyone goes back to the No Man's Land scene, but for good reason. Like that was the one like film where they didn't have to do anything to like depower her in any scenes, and somehow still made a movie where it was incredibly gripping.
I agree.
And emotionally moving. So you got to give credit to that. J Silva 417 Spider-Man Brand New Day music soundtrack featuring, here we go, I don't know any of this, Green Day Brain Stew, Snow Patrol, You're All I Have, Foo Fighters Walk. What is this real? Avril Lavigne Keep Holding On, Mew Am I Right? No Mew She Spider. I don't know how I feel about it. Is this real? This can't be real. Is this real? Is this real? Ray! Is this real? Wake up. Ray got to bed at 4 in the morning. Wake up!
I could see that being real. That sounds like a fun
The soundtrack
Spidey
list is out.
Oh, shit.
I don't know half these songs, but this sounds very like 90s, 2000s punk
That's my jam.
rock.
That sounds great. Into it. I mean, I'm so excited for Spider-Man, dude. Like, we're weeks out now. Do you see that little vignette they made where they show the new Scorpion cover and it's them talking about making the covers out of like motion? They put out like a little
cool.
2-minute video about
cool.
like how they recreated the covers and they revealed the Scorpion cover.
Oh, that's cool.
It's awesome.
Oh, I haven't seen that. No.
Yeah.
All right.
Can't wait for Spider-Man.
C Black Gunn said, only greenlight great scripts and finished scripts shot at the MCU. Supergirl is on pace to make less than Morbius. I mean, it's the fact of the culture is that if a lot of these other terrible movies hadn't come out yet, then this movie probably would be getting a much bigger chance despite reviews and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think the
You can do this smoothly, Coy. You can do this smoothly.
What happened?
You can do it smoothly. Coy just knocked over.
Here we go. I think that superhero culture is something people root to fail, and so it is very specific when one doesn't do well or does do well. Like when one does do well, there's a we're all back, and when one doesn't do well, it's all over. There isn't really a chance for things to just come out.
Well, it's like this isn't a fair metric because if this exact movie had come out before like the Morbiuses and the Madam Webs and stuff, it would probably be doing it like it stands to reason it would be doing probably way
yeah, I see what
better.
you're saying. Yeah.
But because of like the negative effects of a lot of cumulative, yeah, exactly. That's why.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't feel like this is like, oh, it must be worse than Morbius, you know.
But that's the spin.
Yeah. That's
Site that does list like a full soundtrack breakdown. I just don't know how accurate it is.
And Green Day's on there, and Avril Lavigne.
LCD Sound System, and Green Day, Foo Fighters, Avril Lavigne, Snow Patrol, Queens of the Stone Age, You and Me at 6, She and Him, Mew, Ryan Starr, Tame Impala, and Veruca Salt.
That is a soundtrack.
cool.
That's exciting. That is 2000s punk. Like that pop punk. That's exciting. We need to get Idols in Spider-Man.
All right. Just 3 more here. Then we move on to Streamlabs. And then, Coy, you're back to your wife.
Whee!
And then Stan Lee's masturbation video. West Maurer.
It's not Louis C.K.
I was just coming off watching The Dark World. Did Marvel ever consider making Heimdall the holder of the Soul Stone? He had an orange gem in his armor, and his eyes would glow orange. Yeah, Coy, do you know this? You work for DC.
I think that the Infinity Stones are much more oh shit than I think we originally thought. The longer we get away from how they were written and like all that stuff, I do feel like they were putting them places and then they retroactively gave them more import. I think this is very plausible, and I've never noticed that detail. That's a fantastic detail, but it wouldn't surprise me if they originally were like 1 per universe. Like I could see them being like Cap has the Tesseract.
Yeah.
Thor has like I could see them doing that, and then that feels like a very movie narrative idea. You know, like each film has a stone, but I think it worked out well the way it happened.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree you.
I agree.
I agree you.
I agree.
I agree you, Coy.
Marriage.
Marriage, great. That was Coy's vows.
Yeah, when
Marriage, good.
when Kevin quoted and said marriage, I was like, oh, thank God, because I wanted to, and now she won't kill me because it was said.
Oh boy,
That was such a fun vows. That was a good day. It was a good day.
yeah. I kept asking to take photos with him, and he wouldn't do it.
And he's like, screw you, slaps.
I was like, dude, I loved you in that fucking Die Hard movie.
Yeah, that's why I was there, because I'm a big Die Hard 4
I'm
guy.
a big Die Hard with a Vengeance. Live free. I don't even remember what it's called, Kevin.
It's that good.
Please take
It's
a
your
photo.
favorite.
Please.
I kept calling him Jack Kirby because I'm a big Daredevil Ben
Yeah.
Affleck fan.
JM. Oh, you got to refresh it, my friend. It's okay. JM says just looking for an application. He wants to be the new Ray.
Oh shit!
You can do this, Ray. You can do it. You can do it, Ray. Ray. What do I think of? Ghostbusters.
Oh, that makes
Ray.
sense. That makes sense.
Have you seen Ghostbusters, Ray? Yeah. When they say Ray, is there a thing that goes off in you every time? No. Okay. That's fine. JM says, just looking for an application. Here it is, right here, buddy. And CVS, the greatest pharmacy in the world, sends a sticker. What does that say? Thank you for the... You are amazing. Oh, thanks, CVS.
Oh, thanks, CVS.
That's super sweet.
It's a great long receipt.
Did John show you how to go into the Streamlabs?
Let's do it.
I like that. You guys can't hear Ray, but I asked him that. I go, did John show you how to get into the Streamlabs? And he went, yeah. like we're having like an end of movie moment. Yeah.
I know how.
You're going to be all right, son.
I got this. Don't you worry. Taken care of.
Yeah. So we go by the date. So just refresh that page.
Has it been a month?
Since we've been live?
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've been live.
Wow.
I think that's why there's more people here than usual. Like they rarely do this. It feels semi-special.
Look at them go. They're back.
All right. Can you scroll down a little bit more for our sake? Or just make sure the right one on screen is? John! Can you help out Ray
June
really quick?
5th.
Yeah, I started June 27th. Let's go to June 5th. Oh, it's been almost a month. Cool. I got it pulled up here so I can read from here. But I want to make sure the audience see it. All right, we got this. There's a lot of damn V900 taking advantage and also contributing. Thank you, my friend. Oh my God, it's negative. Supergirl was visually thank you. Supergirl was visually bland and uninteresting, especially compared to the comic. No Pegasus sequence was crazy. No effort was made to develop Kara and Ruthie's relationship. They don't actually bond. There are no quiet moments like Kara showing Ruthie how to properly wash her hands, which endears her to the characters. I didn't like any of the needle drops for having one in every action scene was redundant. I feel like the action was poorly edited and choreographed. It wasn't the Furious, that is for sure. Imagine the actor who played Kano actually looking like and playing the real Krem instead. Actually, that would have been a good call. Gillespie said he didn't start with the visuals from the comic because he didn't want to just do the comic itself. It's based on the script. Well, it showed. With the box office and projections now for Supergirl, it was a big mistake with the release date being on Toy Story 5's second weekend and 5 days before Minions. I feel like they're very different audiences. I brought it up before and two people undersold it with the audience. It was a bad spot. Possibly being sandwiched between them is a bad spot, and I can't say that you're wrong when it comes to these things. It's like I feel the passionate dislike that you have for it, and it's weird. It's like I would agree. I just don't have the same level of upsetness about it. Like the same, like if there was a barometer level of emotion of like 1 to 10, I'm like a 5 here, and you feel like you're like a 9 or 10 here. So I'm not like upset by it, especially because I was distanced from the comic. When I was reading the comic, though, I did start thinking like it would be cool in the future if they did like just a complete animated adaptation of the comic.
Yeah,
you know? That would be kind of my hope for it. Was there anything from the comic that was actually, I mean, just kind of going off of what you're saying, of what he's saying here? Well, actually, let me ask you just a couple questions then. What action scene, is there an action scene that you did like that stood out to you?
I saw it so long ago. The moment that specifically stands out is the moment after the bus in space.
Okay.
So like when she escapes to recharge into the yellow sun, that like really atmospheric, cosmic, like the scream and all the very deep space stuff is visually so charming to me. And I think it really felt like the rage and pain in Kara. So I don't know if that counts as action, but it was like right after the action. And then I feel like the scene with Lobo escaping was not as narratively important as they wanted it to be, but it was at least like fun. Like it felt like I'm getting to see Lobo. Like these are moments from the comic in my mind that are getting to play. So like I liked the Lobo action because it felt like stuff I never thought we'd really see, especially with someone like Momoa. Yeah. So even if I didn't connect as much to some of him narratively, it was like still like Lobo. And then I didn't personally feel as strongly negatively as most people with the slow-mo stuff or quite as positively as you did. But I remember thinking it's almost like an old Phantom camera from like 10 years ago. I thought the slow-mo was like, I'm glad they saved it for that. Like I liked it even in the trailer, like the arrow catch and all that stuff. So that all worked for me.
Cool. Oh, and is there anything from the comic that you wish was actually like that? What was the part?
Drug dragons.
I feel like the drug dragon was the main
Huge.
thing that you really feel.
Because that moment to me in the comic was this isn't your daddy's Supergirl.
She
moment.
literally takes like is it a red?
It's a red sun pill.
She
Yeah,
takes a red sun pill and gets fucking powered and fights
Yeah.
a dragon in space.
it's awesome. And
Yeah.
to me, that was the moment where I was like, this is unlike any Supergirl I've read, and that is such a line in the sand of like, this is going to be different. This is intentionally different, and it shows the recklessness for character. Like I think we've normalized drinking, like as a culture. I think taking a pill out of desperation is a scary thing. So I think that's emotionally impactful to like just take a pill and see what's going to happen. Like that's scary and it shows desperation. It shows like an emotional vulnerability. Whereas like drinking is like, we do that in most movies.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a higher level of what they did do. But I also understand how if you're making a movie you want to be for all ages, you don't want Supergirl taking pills in a bar.
Yeah.
Like I understand completely why it was removed, but that is a piece of the comic that's really important to me.
Yeah. I mean, they did adapt it. Like so the dynamic is just automatically different because like in the comic there's an irony to the fact that Supergirl she's in her costume the whole comic.
Yeah.
And so when they're on the bus and she's like the space bus, she's like passed out snoring.
Yeah,
you know?
and she's Supergirl.
And then Ruthye is just trying to talk about like wanting to get Krem in her proper way to like people on the bus. Like it's funny because she's like, I have this warrior and just,
Yeah.
just like snoring and shit. Like there's a humor to it, but there is a constant like there's an anguish in the comic. Like there's like the shots the ones weirdly the dragon missing part does not. I don't like it is a great moment, but like the robbing Ruthye of the moment where we're on the green yellow planet was it's justified well with the world building in the comic that this was done for Superman. In the movie, it is like, well, that's convenient that a yellow sun comes up, but in the comic, they justify it well. And there's this one shot in the comic. I know people really love the washing hand scene. It is a beautiful scene, but
We even talked about it with Millie on the show. I feel like
washing
maybe
hands,
they
yeah.
shot it because we talked about it.
it's a beautiful scene.
Yeah.
It happens early on. But there's this one image where Supergirl is like literally bathing in the sun.
Oh my God, I love that image.
And it's you could see that it's re-energizing her, but it's also kind of painful.
Yeah.
And it's like that kind of shit. Like there's some stuff where I do think in a 3-hour movie they could have moved past some parts of the comic a little bit quicker if they wanted to, or they could have removed some stuff because a lot of it is like a bunch of adventures. But yeah, I mean, I don't fault you for feeling this way, man. I don't. Appreciate this contribution. So, Gamer MJ. Hey guys, seeing the film tomorrow, it already means so much to me because I attended the fan event in London and met all the cast. An absolute blast. Got Millie, Craig, Matthias, and Jason to sign my copy of the graphic novel. I almost had Peter Safran too. That's awesome, man. I hope you have a good time. Really hope you have a good time.
Hell yeah.
It sounds like you're really looking forward to this. I really hope you have a good time. Appreciate you showing up. Matt R. Thank you, Matt R. I disliked that needle drop in Supergirl. They had a cool fight scene involving a woman and added a girly song, which they would never do if it was a man. Male, I mean, they wouldn't do, if it was a man, they wouldn't add a girly song. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense that they wouldn't do that. Because it's a man.
You know,
So
odd
they
choice.
They wouldn't do a girly song.
But they'd probably do a manly song. Like there are man songs that are like, oh, I do man's. Like I actually thought that with Punisher. I thought the equivalent was when Punisher like had Hatebreed come on. And I was like, man stuff. Like there is the male equivalent to this exact same problem.
Yeah, but it's like fucking just roll with it.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I think we just don't notice as much because there's so much more man music.
Male fights get badass fun music, and female ones get cute songs as if it's not feminine to be badass. That is true. I mean, there are some like female songs, female-led songs where I do think of like action scenes when I hear them. Like I love the Yeah Yeah's Gold Lion a lot. Even Zombie.
Heads Will Roll.
Heads Will Roll. Do you know, honestly,
Annie Bjork.
I fucking loved Ashley Simpson's music, man. Fucking La Boyfriend. I dug that. Some of that Britney Spears songs from her later years, like Break Break the Ice. Like there are
Madonna.
songs from Madonna. There are songs from women like fucking Adele's. A lot of
Alanis
Adele songs.
Morissette, Annie Alanis, dude.
There's a lot of songs that I get like visual. Fucking Beyonce's Daddy's Girl from the Texas album. Like there's a lot of songs that from women that I hear. I mean, I know it says Daddy's Girl in there, but there are songs from women that I hear and I get like visual, sometimes action visuals in my head.
Yeah.
And yeah, but there is a thing in movies where sometimes there are like, let's get I'm a girl kind of
Yeah,
song.
that was my problem with Captain
Captain Marvel,
Marvel.
yeah.
Because that was like 5 of those in a row, and I was like, we get it. But like, I didn't feel that with this needle drop, and I know that's been a big contention. But I thought the lyrics worked.
They did Satin in a Coffin.
Yeah, songs were great.
It wasn't an action scene, but they did Satin in
And
a
I'm
Coffin.
fucking proud. And Wet Leg, which is super badass girl stuff.
Yeah. Steven took my son to see a 3D film for the first time, Toy Story 5, which we both love, but love seeing the look on his face more than taking him to see his first IMAX next week. Minions, cannot wait to see his face. Went to see Supergirl. I thought the soundtrack was awful. Yeah, a lot of people aren't digging it. I didn't see Krem as a big bad villain, but I didn't like her decision to kill Krem, but agree with Greg. That last action scene was brilliant, especially in 3D. Oh, thank you. Someone fucking finally agrees with me on that. And the Argo scenes were great. Love from the UK, I think.
UK.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Yeah, dude, I loved Toy Story. I mean, John and I reviewed it, but man, that movie was incredible. I was so impressed. They keep doing it.
Okay.
And then what else are we talking about?
Alan
We agree
Smithy.
with your Krem stuff. And I hope he enjoys IMAX. That'll be fun.
I think the Craig Gillespie, he does. Have you seen Cruella? It's like
lot of songs.
Soundtrack Central.
And a lot of funky.
James
like,
Gunn had nothing to do with that movie.
Yeah. At all.
Pam and Tommy. A lot of soundtracks of Pam and Tommy.
That's really funny. He is very needle droppy.
Did he do what's the I, Tanya? Was that him?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't since the theatrical Oscar push, but I don't remember how needle droppy it was. But I definitely know Dumb Money, Pam and Tommy.
Yeah.
Like, he is that guy.
He's a needle drop guy as well.
Yeah.
Alan Smithy went from super chats to here. Thanks again for the show, guys. Y'all have wonderful nipples.
Thank you.
You have wonderful titties too, my
Thank
friend.
you. We all do. Together as one.
I was at the Run Club, and some guy, a friend who's somewhat familiar with the channel, was like, "Hey, do you still say nipple chills?" I was like, "Yeah." And then other people overheard it who don't know me, and they're like, "What does nipple chills mean?" You know, like when you get like,
So excited.
do your nipples not get like a little hard or something when you're goosebumps? And everyone's like, "No." Like, well, I do. I'm getting it right now.
As someone with
I'm
a
like
nip-
literally touching my nipples right now.
As a nipple chill shirt owner, there are times when I forget I'm wearing it, and I go somewhere after work, and questions are visibly raised. When I go to the grocery store, people are like, and I just let it go. I let
goosebumps.
them wonder.
The nipples harden. It
Yeah.
happens.
We talked about it in Guardians. Nipples were chilled.
Nipples chill, man. Gosh. Greenie from OZ. I think you thought your Streamlab didn't go through, so it got submitted twice. No refunds. Seen in a random
appreciation.
comment section. There's a Spider-Man 98 show in the works after X-Men 97. Hope it's true. Grew up on that show and absolutely loved it. Probably my favorite version of Spidey. He also says, seen in a random Insta comment section, there's a Spider-Man 98 show
Crazy.
in the works after X-Men 97.
Never heard this before.
Hope it's true.
Me too.
Grew up on that show.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. Probably my favorite version of Spidey.
So there was
Aren't they doing the comic?
The comic is out. It's not very good. So I hope you're right, because I waited 30 years for the reveal of what happens to Mary Jane, and then I was like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Like, they literally have her falling, and she doesn't like land in the comic. I mean, in the show. And then the X-Men 97 had her with Peter, so we see like there is resolution. But then the comic has like an explanation that's lame. So I'm really hoping they just like pick up.
What is
from-
it? She fell into like a
It was like a-
ball pit.
I don't even remember. I just remember being like, that's dumb. I remember turning the page and being like, I waited 30 years for this, and I can't remember what it is. That's how bad it is. But I would love the success of X-Men 97 to mean those shows come back, because I think that Spider-Man show is exceptional, especially with all the hoops they had to jump through. That show had to be like PG-7, and it had Punisher in it, and like Morbius couldn't drink blood, and Punisher couldn't have a gun, so everyone just like threw each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that show.
All right. If you refresh it, we got one last one in here. Thank you. This is the last one for the day. Oh, I don't know this name. Bruja22GG says, seen in a random Insta comment section, there's a Spider-Man 98 show. Hi, guys. Prego Harley here?
It's a cool name.
I definitely butchered it. You guys are awesome. And great to hear your honest review on Supergirl. Thank you. Do you guys believe that for the new upcoming DCU movies, we'll be able to come back and just add more comic references more? Much love to everyone.
I think if you're going to adapt, I don't know.
Can I interrupt really quick? One thing I've told Coy that I would love for him to have a job as is if he could become like a comics consult on like there's movies where they get like the book consult, there's movies where they get psychology consults. I'm like, it would be cool if Coy could get like a comic consult job on this stuff, you know, because I feel like you actually get the middle medium where you could see like where you're doing a film, but you also, if you don't want to miss this from the comic, like if you're gonna do the comic, you got to do this, like, or you're missing this essence from the character. I really feel like you would know how to like help provide a strong feedback for something like that.
And I do speak movies and TV.
That would be that's my dream job for Coy.
I would crush that job. And I have so many ideas. Like my X-Men pitch went everywhere, and I was like, that was an interesting moment where I pitched an X-Men thing on Escape Pod, and then the entire internet responded with like, oh my God, hire this guy. And I was like, oh, I thought that was just a dumb idea because I love X-Men too much. So I want that job. But yeah, I think if you're ever going to call a comic like Woman of Tomorrow, there needs to be a certain amount of it. And I also see why they dropped that. You know what I mean? Like, I think there maybe was a version that was more Woman of Tomorrow, and then it became Supergirl, which is the movie they released. So I do think if they're going to do an adaptation of anything, like Man of Tomorrow isn't a singular comic. It's a title for Superman and maybe Lex. But I think if they ever do an adaptation, like Nightfall is an animated movie that's going to be the Nightfall story. They don't often do that in live action. I don't know if they ever have done anything as close to Watchmen, but even Watchmen changed the whole third act. So I do think there's a certain amount they need, and I wonder if Brand New Day is going to feel like the covers give us a montage that gives us the emotion we get from those pops, but still allows there to be a brand new story in Brand New Day. Like I'm really curious about the balance they find in Brand New Day, because there's no way they can do a Scorpion moment, a Ramrod moment, a Tarantula moment that are going to feel like, oh, I know that whole story. But I do think they can have you feel the connection to those characters, even in a montage, because we already have an association.
Yeah.
I actually just did a video. It's going to drop at some point in July. I did 25-minute, 18 arcs that I think inspired Spider-Man Brand New Day. And I broke down 60 years of Spider-Man comics based off the covers that they've released so far and how it might relate to an overarching story. And that was so much fun because I didn't prep. I just looked at covers and talked. It ended up being 25 minutes, and I was like, someone fucking pay me. Like I can do this for you. So like if I throw enough out on YouTube that I hope someone like sees it, Brad Winterbum, call me, then I think there's a potentiality of like there should be this. I'd like to do it.
That would be awesome, dude.
It'd be such a cool job.
It's like this movie is so fascinating because out of all DC Marvel movies, even the ones that take a title from a comic, this is the only one. If you combine all of MCU and DCU and DCEU, it's the only one where people are like treating it as if like when Watchmen was adapted or when 300 was adapted or when Sin City was adapted. It's the only one. So I'm like, how much blowback might have helped been diminished a little bit if they never said we're adapting Woman of Tomorrow. If they never said those words, then there'd be phenomenally less comparison. If anything, it would have been like a treat when you're watching the trailer. And you're like, oh, they're taking inspiration of Woman of Tomorrow. You know, like it definitely would have had more like, oh, they're taking inspiration from Woman of Tomorrow. But a lot of people like us, we're a part of it. And then there's also people who, other people have made videos where they're like, I have the comic. Like, this is what they could have done, you know? But you didn't fucking see that with Civil War.
No.
You don't see that with like you don't see that with the Infinity War. You know, like there's an Infinity Gauntlet comic book, and
it changed everything.
It changed so much in like a lot of different. I'm not saying it's because of like you see it with the fucking movies and the other DC films too. Is like they don't do a 1-to-1 or say they're just adapting this one comic.
You guys should read 102 issues of Spider-Man Brand New Day and see how much Brand New Day. That's not possible. It's 102 issues.
I moved on to the what's the run that I've been reading? The one that's your favorite.
Ultimate Spider-Man?
Ultimate Spider-Man.
Isn't that incredible?
I'm reading that. I stopped Brand New Day right now just to go back to that because I was reading Brand New Day only because I'm like,
And I was like, bro, I promise
movie
you,
coming out.
I guarantee you this will not.
But I'm reading it like this. It's like I feel like
Well,
nothing this is gonna happen.
Brand New Day is like an era. Like
Yeah.
Brand New Day is more of like we want things to feel like the old times. We want to have fresh continuity. We want to choose characters.
Yeah.
That's a perfect title for a Spider-Man movie, but it's not adapting Brand New Day
No.
because it's a concept.
No.
And where are you at in Ultimate?
I'm only like on the 12th comic. I'm still in like the Kingpin storyline.
Okay,
I'm
issue
not-
13
I'm
is
not
I
too
think
far.
one of the best ever issues of Spider-Man.
I don't read as much as you. I read comics every day, but I read like 2 to 3 comics at most. You know.
I've read 17 today.
And I'm hopping. That's what I mean. You do that, and like I'm like, oh, I gotta stop reading all comics to reread Woman of Tomorrow right now, and that'll take me like a couple hours.
Yeah. Let me know what you think of Ultimate Spider-Man as you go, because it's I think one of the most approachable and best comics of all time.
Every time I pick it up, I love it.
It's so fun.
It's pretty amazing.
It's like a romp. Like
Yeah.
it feels like you're watching your favorite movie.
It is like a rare. It is rare in that capacity.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, you of all people will know that sometimes it feels like homework.
But I've never read Ultimate Spider-Man and not been like,
Yeah,
like it's so good.
It's easy to like fucking like get back into it.
Yeah.
It's like television. But anyway, that's it for today. Appreciate you guys sticking around for a nuanced discussion. For my mental health and Coy's mental health, we weren't as immediately diving into the current regular live chat, but appreciate you all for being here.
Yes.
So thank you so much. And if you didn't contribute to the stream live super chats, that's a-okay. Thank you to all who did. If you could leave a like on the video, which I know you can, even though I said if, please go ahead and do that. Subscribe, and we should be back here next week for other shit.
CVS for the super sticker.
And thanks. Didn't we shout out the super sticker?
We did. We
Yeah.
did. Long receipt reference.
John does not know how to trust.
John just doesn't trust us.
John's
We are not
gone.
his Lisan Al
John's
Gaib.
gone, and he's like, I need to involve myself.
He's
here.
like, I'm
I
gonna
need
make
to-
sure. Accountability.
Oh my god,
There
I just
he
can't be
is.
gone.
He just
Al-Gaib.
Lisan Al Gaib.
I just can't be
Music
gone.
and Spider-Man.
Oh
it's
my
Lisan
god,
Al-Gaib.
these guys don't know how to do a thing if
sure
I'm not
does.
around.
That's what happens when Avril Lavigne enters the conversation.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super everyone.
All right, guys. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks, Ray, for your first time holding this shit down. And thank you, Coy, for being Coy.
Double Dunkirk.
Peace out, Reject Nation. Thank you.
Boop, 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 ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop.
Double Dunkirk.
That was a perfect ending.
Double Dunkirk, Dunkin' Donuts, Dirty Dan, or was it Dave? Just double Dunkirk. It ain't done, 'cause it's time for double the Dunkirk. Never done more. Dunkirk.
Dunkirk twice.
How much Dunkirk
Double D.
could ever be enough?
D.
We're here to answer the very questions that have plagued history all throughout the ages.
Why didn't Dunkin' Donuts collab for Dunkirk? Half the title.
Yeah. Dunkirk. Double Dutch Dun.
Double Dunkirk. Dirty Dan. Double nuts.
Chris Nolan, too sophisticated.
You like the double Dutch bus? We're riding on the double Dunkirk bus now, baby.
That's right.
Where's my Shatner face?
Oh,
Where's my snare?
16-bit Shatner.
16-bit. Shatman. He's here for double dunks.
Shat.
Look at that. 5-hour stream.
Fuck.
Double Dunkirk.
Double done.
We're double.
Let's do this show backwards.
We're doing it.
Going back.
Run it back.
All right, I'm gonna sleep.
Yes.
Double Dunkirk every day. It's double Dunkirk. 3 times the fun Kirk. 16-bit Captain Kirk. Dunk a Chino. Al Pacino. Carla Gugino. Other Italian actors. We're doing stuff. Coy and Aaron are pointing and laughing at me, and I can't hear what they're saying. They're just doing stuff now. They're just doing stuff. That was a lot of sick. But you know what? It wasn't a lot of Dunkirk. Double Dunkirk. Ooh. We're doing it doubles. Double the Dunkirk. 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 Double Dunkirk. 4 hours of double Dunkirk.